Producer Sam are in the building. I mean, it's the third time you showed up.
Oh shit, I can hear y'all. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of
Podcast.
cool. Oh shit.
It's a
Okay.
different world.
This would be officially.
It's the vibe, Sammer.
What's up, y'all?
Where you been?
I was in Toronto.
Whoa, what are you doing out there?
Yeah.
I was at the Just for Laughs comedy festival.
I heard Toronto has like the baddies, like the baddies.
T-Dog.
The
That
bad
is-
tings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's actually a very diverse city. So that there's
The
a lot
most
of
diverse
Is it
in the
really?
world, yeah.
Oh shit,
It's the most diverse
And
city,
Indians,
Toronto.
lots of Indians. I will say
Indians.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but lots of baddies like everywhere.
Indian baddies?
Oh, absolutely.
The Venn diagram is like.
It's like baddies,
Yeah.
and then like
Indians.
it's like
But there's
Indians.
other kind of baddies. Like they got all kinds.
Asians.
No, they do a lot of
Arabs.
Chinese, Korean, Japanese, a lot of Arabs, Lebanese.
Let's just name all the countries.
When you meet a girl, you're like, have you did Drake? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
that's
did
a
Drake
good
hit?
question.
Didn't Drake say that Toronto is where he's got the most tings, the concentration of tings? When you
mean,
say
why-
combination.
why wouldn't
Why,
it be?
why tings? What's the
Well, they
difference?
asked him, where's
Things.
the
Like
But
things.
why tings? What's
Ting.
the,
It's like
The
the slang in
Canadian.
one of the
It's like
languages.
I think it's
it's the
Jamaican.
Canadian patois adaptation. The ting.
tings? But no, I thought about Drake a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure every girl has like a Drake story.
Sure you
no,
did.
I thought about him a lot.
You're in the
a
city.
lot. Yeah,
How do you spell Canada?
Canada, and then
No, D-A-
Arake.
Drake.
What's the song?
Right.
Oh, shit.
It's that.
Oh, DJ
DJ
Khaled.
Khaled said it.
Yeah.
I just spelled Canada.
21.
Something to me.
You know, they could demonetize us for doing that now.
No way.
For just like singing a song or humming
Oh
it.
wow, but okay.
Because on Google, you can
Demonetized.
now Shazam songs, right? On the
way.
Pixel by
Yeah.
humming them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
on the Google
Shazamming.
Pixel.
Voila.
My
They had the
sponsorship.
Fold.
Bro,
Google
move
Pixel
your-
3 and the Fold.
No, I swear it's insane. You can literally grab the
Your
song and be
flask.
like,
Is that another sponsor?
staying alive, and it'll pop up. Bee Gees, staying alive.
Oh, as in you can like hum it.
Shazam it just by humming.
yeah.
It's
But
not
what if you're like a
Shazam.
terrible singer?
Then, try Shazam the regular way. I don't
You know
know.
what I mean? Like, what if you're
Yeah,
like,
you might as well
Does
just
it
Google
do-
the words at
I
that
actually
point.
thought about this. Does it do Habibi music?
It does.
I think we
we
tried
did it.
that.
We did
Yeah,
Habibi and Lion. We were singing
No
it.
way.
Swear to Bob.
That's pretty
Crazy,
cool.
bro.
Yeah.
I kind of fucks with
What's your
that.
favorite Arabic song of all time?
It's a weird one, but it's gonna be Qazim Sahir.
Okay.
Okay. And it was God, is it like Sarrah Shari و غسل وشي and like
That's the
brush my
what?
teeth. Yeah. It's like basically it's like what to do in the morning. That's what
Wish-
I remember of it. And it's just when I was a kid, my mom used to play that a lot. So because I'd be like, that's when I'd brush my hair and and still till now I use it to brush my hair.
You know that song? Baba Fina, Hina Ho.
Oh yeah.
عمو بيكلموا عمو يا عمو يا عمو.
Yeah.
Like, what's his
That's a
name?
banger.
Khalifa Santa remixed that.
Yeah,
Did he really?
Yeah.
No way.
Khalifa be doing some nice
Pull that shit up.
beats.
Yo, I think that like Arab music is about to like pop off.
It's always been popping
absolutely.
off.
Yeah, but like-
Every single banger in history has a Arab like
Yeah, it has
bass
some
line or something.
influence. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
we-
like,
can we
especially
pull that
it's
up,
funny.
Jay?
I like no,
Sammer,
but
can we-
No, I mean like most rappers.
Now
and
he
just
went to most. Okay.
I mean, you got Jay Z's,
Big Pimpin',
Big Pimpin',
Abdul Halim.
just a little bit, or
Oh right.
all the like that.
I heard some like Nazi Ajram one recently. Now Amr Diab, I think they take his shit a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amr Diab is like a goat. I think
Right.
he's probably the goat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I would say he's the goat of
He's the
like
goat.
singing.
He's the
Well,
usher.
it's like
Abdul
between
Halim,
Walik
him,
Foudy and
Khartoum
Amr Diab.
Fairuz. What's
Yeah.
up?
Walik Foudy and Amr Diab are
Oh,
the two.
Walik
Like,
Foudy.
yeah.
Oh shit.
And then George Wassouf is like a dark horse.
I remember Wassouf,
Yeah,
bro.
Wassouf. I
He
know
had
him.
that-
He has the
that,
most
like-
basic Arab name.
George.
George and Wassouf.
How is
Egyptian
George
name.
a basic Arab name?
No,
But
like
he's
Arab
Lebanese,
Christian.
though.
It's George.
He's not
George.
even Egyptian. He's Lebanese.
He's not.
I don't think so. Isn't he
Oh.
Lebanese, George Wassouf?
I think he's
I
Egyptian.
remember I met him in Lebanon at the Summerland Hotel. I remember that.
Summerland?
You remember Summerland?
Yeah.
And he was smoking cigarettes outside and like just sitting there. I
Yo.
think he like something happened to his throat. I don't
You know, when I went to Egypt, we stayed at the Hayat. It wasn't the Hyatt, it was the Hayat,
was about to
which
ask,
means
what?
life. It was right next to the pyramids in Cairo. It was amazing.
Is it spelled like HYATT though?
No, Hayat.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Shout out to my dad for
Yo,
getting that
that's like
discount.
dope. Look at these guys. It's like hanging out with no one.
No, I'm texting Sammy back. He said
you
he's
are?
going to be here at 3:15.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
telling him the
uh-oh.
instructions.
Shit, I should get out of this chair.
No,
You
no.
good, you good.
Nah, I'm fucking around. But I should. I need to go home and sleep. Oh wait. Sick.
Hey, is this real? This is AI.
What the heck?
Travis Scott, I like Adam.
Yes. Shout out Travis.
Shout out
That's
Travis.
sick, yo. I like Travis too.
You think Travis has like the highest body count
No.
Like,
No.
like,
At his
like
concerts.
actually killing people.
Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh.
Michael Jackson? I think probably
dude.
is over.
Yeah, dude. MJ. Back in the day, if you watch like the MJ footage,
They all faint.
they all faint and they die. You're
No,
just
they don't
like-
die. They don't die.
They like pull them out, like, you know, with the
Yeah.
ambulance and stuff.
And now it's happening to Taylor Swift and Beyonce. I think we're going back to that era of music.
Taylor Swift or Beyonce?
Oh, Beyonce beyond a doubt.
Who's bigger?
What does that mean?
Who's a
Like
bigger
financial
Exactly. I think
success?
like, well, listen, right now we're talking the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift situation is at its peak. So because of that, I'm going to have
just
to say
started.
is that she's taking the peak. And not only that, Taylor Swift, and listen, I'm not a Swiftie. I disagree with them. But I will say this, is that she's taking, like, I think her movie, her pre-concert.
And now
film.
Beyonce's doing one too.
Yeah,
Beyonce
we'll see who
copied her.
beats out, but I think Taylor's going to take that because she was the first to come out, and it was like this number 2 of all time, I believe.
I mean, you
like
could see
pre-sale
like
tickets.
the ticket sales.
Wow.
Taylor's are way more expensive.
Right.
on
oh,
Thick
really?
Pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. You mean?
I
like
mean, we went to
tickets
the Beyonce concert.
right?
We went to the
You paid
Beyonce concert
$7.
for. You went. Remember
I paid-
that?
Yeah.
We paid. Tell them the story. No one believes us.
Okay, so we went to the Beyonce concert. We were eating at American Deli. I remember
fire.
We were in the parking lot, right?
Shout out Atlanta.
And we're like hanging out or whatever, and like I'm sitting there, we're like, yo, and I keep looking at the tickets, and I bet these dudes. I was like, yo, listen, like,
It was $90 when we first went to the game. We were shooting some content, and then we were like, all right, if it goes under like 75 or like 50, like we're
Simon
sure.
was confident it will.
and
Yeah.
I was like, you guys are crazy. I was like, of course it's gonna go down.
Like,
to
what are you
$50.
talking about?
All right,
Yeah.
Why
so
would it?
You guys
the
are wild.
concert. So the concert was about to start, and we looked at it. It was like $60. It was like $60. We're like,
$60.
okay, like I think we're down to go. And then it went down to under 50, and then it was like $44.
Yeah, and then we ordered our food.
We're waiting for the
While
food.
we're waiting for our food, it went down to
44 to
44
34
to 34 to 24 to 14. Then we,
No, it was at 24, and then it hit like randomly. We saw 2 tickets for $7.
Right,
We
we
tried
snagged
to.
them.
What
We
the
tried to
heck?
buy them. It didn't work.
right.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh damn, we didn't get the $7 tickets. And then we saw the 24.
I was in disbelief.
Yeah, and we saw 2 for $7 after that, and we
We were
cleaned
ready,
them up.
and we gave it, and literally we were like walking to the concert.
Oh,
We had an
yeah.
extra ticket because you could
we
buy
had an extra ticket.
I seen
shooting
a
the
couple.
content.
I seen a couple freaking with the. I'm like, I wonder if his wife can't.
There's
get
like one
it.
person
wild.
waiting trying to scan something.
Literally.
Yeah, once in a lifetime.
They
and
needed
that
the
dude
one
was so
ticket.
hype. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, bro. Whatever you want."
He's like, we've been here since 6 hours. My boy's
Yeah,
already
man.
in
Four
there.
four
I'm
tickets.
like tripping. I'm just like going inside, like, what is going
Yeah.
on right now? We find,
Well,
and then when we get inside,
We
had
missed
the
half
best
the
seats.
concert. Let's be honest. We had amazing seats, but like
Yeah.
you know, we were waiting for our food, so we missed like at least a third of the
We missed
concert.
DJ Khaled opening. I
Yeah,
was
like the
bummed about
opening.
But
But it was
the concert
amazing.
was like 2 hours. We saw
Yeah.
like 2 hours.
We
of
had more than
concert,
enough showtime.
And then we
Yeah.
went to the Chargers game.
Right.
We went to the Chargers game. We tried to do the same thing where they were playing the Dolphins, and it was an amazing game. First of all,
yeah. Oh,
But
right, it was.
We did the same thing. We pulled up right when the
Home
game was
opener.
about to start, and then it was a home opener, and we saw tickets for like $50-$60, and then they went down to $35, and then we snagged 4 of them and gave one away again.
Yep.
Shout out to TickPick.
Yep.
Right.
And
Sponsor us too. the
yeah,
podcast.
sponsor the
yeah.
podcast. I'm gonna send
Look,
all
we're telling the
send them
story. Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
So then, so
all
I mean,
true.
yeah, shout out to TickPick. Like you know, it's kind of a secret. Like you go to a concert right after it starts, and the tickets just drop.
That's been my strategy.
Unless
And shout out to
there's
Samak too.
Unless they don't let you in, right?
but what made
unless they're oversold, like there's more buyers than sellers because people will buy them out. Like
But
the
what
last
made-
night at Beyonce's concert, you couldn't find a ticket, but the first night, more people were selling than were buying.
But what made it different, I think, was TickPick.
have no
I mean
fees.
this, the no fees thing, like, because you look at it,
It
and
is
when you're
what it
looking
shows
at it,
you.
you're like, all right, because like there was a big, I think the lawsuit with like all the other ones,
Ticketmaster
Because
and all
Ticketmaster
that,
and stuff. Because honestly,
Tickets like $40, and then
you're 140 by the time
Didn't
you
Biden
pay.
make a statement saying like these
Yeah.
these ticket fees
Yeah,
are outrageous?
exactly.
We're about to resolve
So
this.
TickPick's very smart. I don't know
Like,
what their
that's what
business
he's-
model is, but
Thanks,
like
Biden.
I love that I can see the price and
All
be
the
like,
right
that's what I'm
issues.
getting it for.
well, they put the fees
Facts,
in there,
yeah,
and they
it's big.
probably don't add in too many
Yeah.
extra fees.
I did it when I almost did it when I was Toronto. I was looking at Toronto Blue Jay tickets, like
Yeah.
just randomly, and I should have went. I was like, whatever.
How much were they?
Okay, there was like right behind home.
Oh, we went to the
plate.
Dodgers game too for
Yeah,
$20.
$20.
And we
Yeah.
saw that game walk
And
off.
The walk-off
yeah, that
walk-off
was a
homer.
sick
We were playing
game, dude.
the Detroit Tigers, or
Yes.
our hometown team.
yeah.
Shout out
And
Miguel
we
Cabrera.
lost, but we still won because we were in LA. You know.
dude.
Right.
Cabrera.
Win-win.
And I got
Tired, by the way.
Lions Chargers tickets
missed
right later this season.
Oh, right.
They're
Oh,
playing
my
in
God.
LA. If you
Dude,
guys
the
want to
Lions
go.
look good.
But
this
tell
year.
them about the Tigers. I mean, the
Oh, this guy's never been to a baseball
Dodgers.
game.
I mean, it was
Oh
my
my
second
God.
one. I've
And it
been
was the
to
second
one.
game, and there was a walk-off homer, or no, a walk-off hit.
It was basically
base hit.
walk-off base hit. Like basically, I think they were down by 2 runs or something.
One. No, they were tied.
They were tied.
They were down by 1 for a while, and then they were
And
tied.
it was like the bottom of the 9th, essentially.
Straight up.
And he he did like the thing that needed to happen, which
Yeah.
never happens in baseball, which is like, especially at the home crowd.
Nothing ever
Dodger
happens in
Stadium.
baseball.
But like, yeah, and it was like
fight,
unbelievable,
please.
like
Yeah.
the electricity. So I think the guy hit like was it a home run or was
No,
it
no,
a
no,
line
it was
drive?
No, he hit it down the middle where they couldn't catch it. Like,
Yeah,
they had
he-
to chase it
Can we
down.
talk about
And then they
baseball for a
hit it.
second? Like, let's back up.
Well,
Okay.
Baseball is the only sport where you can hit the ball and then have somebody else run for you.
That's facts, dude.
What? Is that
right?
true?
Yeah, you can have
chase
it.
pinch hitter, pinch runner. Like, isn't that
Yeah,
a thing?
absolutely.
So it's like you could be fat
could
as hell.
literally-
No,
Yeah,
you have
just
to. You have to get to the first base by yourself, right?
You do,
And then you
yes.
can switch out.
But what
You
you
can't
could
just
do,
say hit
what
it.
you could essentially do is like hit the ball, not go to first, take the out, and have your other guy just like go to second or third, right? Or go to home, like because you're just like the strategy is to get a run here. So sometimes like that happens. But like Babe Ruth. The dude was like, looked like he had like 5 burgers a day. You know what I'm saying?
And they're like,
man
he's
was
the GOAT.
huge. But he was the GOAT. You
But
know?
now it's like, then they demonize like Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds. It's like, we want that. We want people to have like home run
Do
derbies.
steroids?
Where they're like,
Wait, you're pro steroids.
I'm pro fun, bro.
He's
So
on,
you're pro.
he's
you're
on
on
steroids. This guy's
All
not pro.
What's
He's
the
on-
best
I'm pro
steroid?
fun.
with
I'm pro fun, bro.
What's the best steroid to take, from your humble
For what?
opinion?
Depends on what. You
For
were-
power and
He's
for
actually,
physique.
He's not kidding.
No, he knows.
I mean,
steroids.
heroin?
I've
Is that a
looked it
steroid?
up.
You
Heroin?
Yeah,
You
it's
trend
It's not a
it.
steroid.
Give him a flex. Give the people.
You think you could beat up
I
Bradley
don't need
Martin?
to.
You think you could beat up Bradley Martin?
I actually just saw him the other day at the gym.
No way.
and
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think you
He's
could take
pretty
him?
big. He's a big guy.
you can
I
you
know
beat
he's
him up?
I don't.
Street
I'd
fight?
rather not.
You
By
can't.
saying he's a big guy, I didn't need to know.
It's
a smart
No,
man.
I mean,
As
saying
if
he's a
he
big
can do it, but he won't.
I mean, he's has that. Doesn't he? Isn't that his thing where he's like,
Yeah, he
on
Yes.
the internet, everyone's like, I'm 280, like you know.
Yeah, yeah.
like, I'm
What?
6'6".
260.
280.
But
He's
he's
like-
super
talking to
nice.
fucking
He
Nate
seems
Diaz.
like I watch his.
I mean,
stuff, and I'm like,
we've
he's so
interacted
humble.
before.
we all met
super
him.
chill. I like that.
Super
guy.
cool.
Didn't you go to his gym too? Like
Yeah, yeah. he told
I
me
feel
I'd
like he
come
doesn't
there
want any
whenever.
drama. Like he wants like the last thing he wants in his life is drama. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know.
He did have the beat. You know who Callum Von Moger is? Like the guy who looks exactly like Arnold. He's had a really tough like break the past couple of years. But at one point he was like on his shit. Like
Like beefing and stuff.
No, I mean he was the premier like bodybuilder.
Ah, okay.
And he looked exactly like Arnold, and they actually hired him. It's a movie called Bigger, and it was about Arnold.
Okay, I heard about this. Yeah,
so
okay.
he was like the guy. He looks. I mean,
Jeez.
and then him and Bradley had some kind of beef, and then I didn't really follow
You think
it.
Bradley can really fight though?
Probably.
Because I just see him going like, I'm trying to
He's
grab you.
he's very athletic, but I don't know if he can. It doesn't mean you can fight.
I think like.
speed.
Well, first of all, it being in a gym environment, and I think he has a boxing thing in his gym.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
No.
I thought like I saw box, but there's got to be trainers that are.
I've never seen
boxers
him
there.
box. Have you seen him box?
Well, here's the thing.
I
So,
have.
Let's just.
I think he was on like Aiden Ross, Aiden Stream. Or
Can I
one of
weigh
those
in
guys.
because I'm like I've trained boxing. I've trained with fighters,
And you're the biggest Bradley Martin fan.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
So boxing, even if you're a good boxer, doesn't translate to like street fighting. Like if like Bradley Martin gets a hold of you, for example, more than likely it's going to be very hard to
you
get
don't
out
want
of
him
that.
to grab you. You want
So
him to
like
be
if you're
far.
a MMA guy, like it depends. Even if you're an MMA guy, it's like, are you a grappler? Are you a
Striker.
a striker or a boxer? Like
That makes
that's
sense.
it. So again, like it depends
Israel
on a street fight.
Adesanya.
There's really no
guy's a
rules in
fucking
street
beast.
fighting. You know, like if you're just fighting somebody in the gym, for
No
example.
way.
That's why UFC.
What was that guy? You remember this guy? I think he was a UFC. He was a street fighter, and they used to be
Kimbo
videos.
Slice.
Kimbo
Kimbo.
Slice.
Yeah, yeah.
Kimbo
See,
was
he
just
R.I.P.
a monster.
But
Yeah.
he didn't.
all
He
right.
was knocking.
But he was
people
was
out.
pretty bad at it. So
was
he was
bad at
really good
UFC.
at backyard brawling and stuff,
Okay.
but
But just
really
like-
terrible at
Right.
MMA.
Because UFC is a different beast, bro. If you can strike, you can grapple, you can, swing in any direction. You can kick.
Like think about
it's
even
done.
Brock Lesnar, like a behemoth of a human being, right? In the WWE, he was really bad at MMA.
Who's
Or,
better, Muhammad Ali or George Floyd?
Mike
Floyd
Tyson.
Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather. Oh my God, Ali beyond. I mean, I would
It's
say
different.
beyond. Like Ali is different.
It's like saying
eras,
Babe
but
Ruth.
Ali-
It's like Babe Ruth versus
Sammy Sosa.
what's his name? Otani.
I don't know. Oh yeah, that new
Shannon
guy.
Sharp.
Shannon
Yeah,
Sharp,
I mean-
dude.
Listen here, Skip.
Yo, Shannon Sharp. I wonder if Shannon Sharp could box. 'Cause I
He,
feel like
dude,
Shannon.
dude is shredded
but
for
he's
his
shredded.
age,
But
dude.
the
Yeah.
thing is like, would he be
He was
able
a
to
beast
swing?
as a football player.
I know,
too.
he was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
him and his brother.
He'll
The
drop
Sharp
you.
brother?
He'll
yeah,
drop
yeah.
you. He'll
Really
drop you.
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did his brother play? Linebacker or something?
They were both on. Actually,
Denver?
I think one was a tight end, one was a corner, something like that. One was
Shannon.
defensive.
Yo,
one was
Deion
up.
When I was
Sanders.
at Fox, I remember I saw him Sharp and
You saw him at the Lakers game too.
I did. I saw him at the Lakers game many times. I saw him at the Lakers game with the fight
When
where
he-
he was gonna fight. What's his name's dad? John Morant, Mr.
Sterling
Oh,
Sharp.
John Morant.
Yeah,
Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp.
Oh, thanks for
Damn,
that.
that sounds like an actor's name because there's Sterling Brown. Is
Yeah,
it
Sterling K. Brown,
That
yeah.
guy's the man.
But listen, man, we talked about concerts. We talked about Toronto and Drake.
Yes.
We're not going to address the elephant in the past week in the room.
Wow, what's
Okay,
that?
look at him smiling. You
Last
met
week,
Drake,
dude,
right?
You mentioned
you
it a
met
million
Drake?
times.
Oh,
So-
no
Just
way.
go
Tell
to
the
his
people.
page. Go to
Let's
his
tell the
TikTok,
people.
please.
Tell the
And
people.
Fanboy, tell us the story.
Fanboy.
Is it a dream of yours?
Please tell us.
I mean, how would y'all have felt if you met Drake?
I'd be like, what's
I already
up,
met
Drake?
Drake. Like
Met him in the
8 years
bathroom.
ago.
Listen, I know how much you like his music and you appreciate it. So I would
Of
probably
course.
that's like me meeting Martin Scorsese. If I met Martin
Fanboy?
Scorsese, I'd be like, "Yo, I
Who would
love."
you would
I mean,
fanboy over
you
Martin?
fuck with
Oh,
Drake's.
100%.
You
You
fuck
like
with
that
Drake's
I fuck
meme?
with
music
Drake,
too,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
that
absolutely,
meme of
absolutely.
Martin Scorsese's like, "This is cinema," because he's always talking about
When I
Marvel
fu-
and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, tell us the story. Tell us the story. It started out with Drake's uncle.
So yeah, the story goes back
Allegedly.
a year and a half or so, right? Is when I met Uncle Tim, who just happened to be. I met him at a random event, bro, in LA, like after COVID, when the first event after COVID, like when people were starting to go out, and it was the
And that's
first time.
for sure confirmed
Timmy.
Drake's uncle.
Bro, I met Drake.
Bro.
Yes, like a
Okay,
week
so
ago. Like,
we
what
have
do you mean?
so we have paternity tests.
You know
but what's
Drake's-
an uncle test?
In the
We need an
beginning-
uncle test.
You know Drake's
Bro,
dad?
I had dinner at Dennis's house.
Okay, Dennis.
Dennis is Drake's dad.
Father, we had
And then
dinner in his house on
Tim
Sunset.
is his brother.
Tim is his brother.
And you met him.
You ever seen that clip of Drake's where he's like, my dad's got on like whatever shoes. He's like, boy, don't you? You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think I
talking
know what you're talking about.
Stop playing
Boy,
with
if you
him.
don't,
Yeah, stop playing with me. Or something. He said something.
But it's funny you asked that because in the beginning, yeah, that was a question on everyone's mind. When I first met Unc, they're like, yeah, but is it actually, Drake's uncle? And it's
and then
like,
you put
I
and then
at
you
the
put
time.
Dennis and Tim next to each other. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
they're
very easy to
definitely
see.
When you
very
showed me a
related.
picture of Tim, when I saw it, I was like, yo, I've seen his father too.
He's
Yeah.
in the music video for Worst,
Yeah,
right?
so that's how I initially had
Tim.
my first of all, I trusted Unc from the jump because like, why would you lie? So let me
Trusted
go,
Unc
let
from
me
the
go to
jump.
the, let me go to
Yeah.
the story without interruptions. So from this guy, you guys are cool.
So now
So I show up to this event and he's here and they're like, oh yeah, this is Drake's uncle. I'm like, this is a random event in like a warehouse with 20 creative kids and like
Yeah.
here's Drake's uncle for some reason. I met him, I shook his hand, he's like, what up, Tim? I'm like, what do you do, man? He's like, man, I'm Drake's uncle. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what's up.
Yo, save this for him.
When Sammy comes here,
It's not even. It's past 3:15.
yeah, he's on
That's
his
a
way.
con.
It's all right. Well,
So long
we
story
can talk
short, you
again.
met Drake last
So
week.
I end up playing him my
You
music.
locked eyes with him.
Well, yeah.
That,
And-
that screenshot of him like
Wait, this
It's like the one that Drake has when he's looking up on stage.
the
You know?
LeBron
Did I
one
know
where
about,
he's like hugging
Hold on,
LeBron.
Did I know about this? Or no,
When
No,
he
the one
see
where
me,
he's like
he shouted me
shook,
out
like looking up on the
He
stage.
shouted, oh,
Yeah.
on
He-
stage.
Drake
Yeah,
shouted you
showed
out.
in
me
the middle
that.
of the concert.
Yes.
So I end up meeting Unc, right? And I played him my music and he fucked with it instantly. Like he heard that, he's like, oh, this is dope. He's like, man, I know music. I know a hit when I hear it. You know what I'm saying? So since then we just locked in like tough.
awesome.
Tight.
So he's like
Good mentor.
starts inviting me
mentor.
to his house. I start going over, we're smoking
hookah.
hookah and stuff
Hookah, of
together.
course.
And we just start getting close. And then he had me throw his birthday party.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's like, my birthday party's coming up. I have a whole song about this. I did it
I'm
to
gonna go
the
get some
tune.
water.
Sure. I did it to the tune of Let Nas Down.
Okay.
I let Unc down. Like, I can't believe I let Unc down.
You got to play. If you're going to clip this, you got to play that.
Yeah, you're right. I'll play it.
You
But
100% clip
the
it.
reason I let him down is because I was supposed to throw the party, and then we ended up like, I planned the whole thing. I was supposed to get the speakers because it was in a courtyard outdoors, so we had to organize everything.
Yeah.
I've done this in the past. Like, I've put on my biggest show. We shut down the Center Street in Provo.
Okay.
BYU, 3,000 people and stuff. So this wasn't that crazy, but it's LA. So
Let's go.
anyway, end up showing up late.
You did or he
my
did?
Achilles heel myself.
You did.
Yeah.
Shocked.
You know, I just want to say something.
Surprise, surprise.
Me and Talal have had many conversations about being late.
Yeah. No, and you've honestly, you're one of the first people to get through to me on
Good.
it
I'm
in a
happy.
weird way because it's been a problem since
I was very mean, but I need to be.
but very direct.
Please.
Yeah, I'm a
Continue
direct.
to do
I
it.
just think being direct. Because listen, back in the day, I was not direct.
Yeah.
I was misdirection, not forward. I would just be like completely, just be like, oh yeah, like whatever everyone else wants. But
Yeah.
the more I started and shout out to Paul and like a bunch of other my boss, my former mentor Tony.
Tony is big, and he's your
Tony's
example.
the biggest mentor, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he taught me that being direct is like worth its weight in gold in a time like this because we're just so freaking like indecisive about life
Right.
general, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we could be indecisive about like choosing a Netflix show compared to eating something, but sometimes we be indecisive about our own emotions or like
Yeah.
our friendships or like
Yeah.
how we are with people.
Yeah.
So we need to be like more. I think we just need to be more like I don't know. There's so many more distractions nowadays.
For sure.
And I used to say that, but like now I'm like, geez, bro, I could leave this place and I could go 1,000 different places.
100%.
100%. And it's like an access to it and do something.
Yeah. You got to really
wild.
have that tunnel vision and make decisions fast
dude.
and not lose like momentum.
And not be late.
Not be fucking late. Yeah.
Not be fucking late.
So I was late, whatever, did the party though. Dennis showed up because we were late. They shut the concert down as Dennis was walking in, bro.
Oh,
Because the sound was getting loud and
Right.
the manager came up and she's like, we got to unplug. I'm like, are you kidding me? We just got everything set up. I had to set everything up, the audio speakers, the stage. And just as Dennis is walking in was when we finally got it set up. And literally I see this woman go up to the thing and she pulls the master plug. Cuts it out and Dennis walked in. Everyone's like, what? Anyways, fast forward a year later, Unc invites me out to Dallas and I go to before that,
Thanksgiving.
I'm in Chicago with my family. You remember I called you guys and I got a call from Unc saying, yo, Drake's in town tonight in LA and we're going to the show.
flies out.
Get your flight out. I got you a ticket. I'm like, oh, shit.
You're like, oh my God.
I literally left the zoo, bro. The Chicago zoo. I was with my sister and her her 1-year-old baby. And I
Shout
had
out to
them-
the baby.
Shout out to the
Shout out her,
baby.
yeah, my boy. He has the Happy B shirt. He's our
Oh,
first.
let's go.
He's our
Let's
first.
talk about the
customer.
merch. Talk about the
you
merch.
picked Drake
First-
over your nephew.
Yeah.
I mean,
Habibi
it
house,
was a
bro.
tough
Shout out.
conversation.
I only love
But you got
Drake in
shout
my
out in
bed.
the podcast,
It was
You
a tough
left the
call,
zoo.
bro. It was a
Talk
tough
about the-
call.
You left your laptop there.
Talk about the merch.
I talked to my sister. I'm like, yo, I gotta make this run. She's like, I understand. Go for it. I don't want you to miss your opportunity. I'm like, thank you, sis. I love you. And
Yeah,
I,
see. Shout out
Freaking-
to sis.
All that
Yeah,
to shake
shout out
Drake's
to sis.
hand.
shout
for
out
sure.
Yumun. Shout out Sam.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I sent him a Happy B shirt. Habibi. What's the joke?
Oh, what do you call a bee that's happy around you?
Yeah, Happy B. Habibi. So
Right?
we made merch. We made
like
baby
that.
merch.
No,
Alta
I
was
like
like, we should put it on a baby shirt. So it's
It's funny. Today I was
nice.
watching
A
dad
nice
joke
beat.
videos. No joke.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do
Oh,
something.
all we're
Really?
doing
Yeah,
is
let's
dad
do
jokes.
something.
Dad
Sammy's
jokes
big on
videos.
dad jokes.
Really?
Let's do it.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Anyway, let me round
God, I
this.
love
Let
dad
me
jokes.
round the story up.
Okay,
So
okay,
I end
okay.
up flying to LA, and that night we go to the after party in some like rooftop bar. And as soon as we get there after the Drake concert, Dennis Graham is DJing. He's like, I heard Unc on the phone. He's talking to his brother downstairs. He's like, DJ the DJ, what's up? Like, hold on, let me do his voice. DJ the DJ. And at the door, bro, was Little Meech from
I personally don't, but I'm sure I should.
Big Meech's son. He's the
Big
one
Meech.
on
Yeah,
but Little Meech. Is
that how it works?
He does Power.
Little Meech.
Ibn
Mini Meech.
Ibn
Ibn
Meech.
Meech.
Abu Meech.
Abu Meech or Ben Meech?
Ibn Meech.
No, but he's on that Power show that 50 Cent
Ibn
has.
Meech.
Ah, it's a good
BMF,
show, dude.
Black
Wow.
Mafia Family. Anyways, Little Meech couldn't get in the building, bro, and we got in. And my friend later was like, think about that, man. I'm like, yeah, it's big shit. Anyways, so DJ's DJing.
Trying to kill that.
They call him DJ. That's his nickname because he's a junior.
Ah.
So anyways, Dennis Graham is DJing, and I'm just sitting there hanging out, talking with Unc and him. And then I just want to scan the room. I look around, and it's like 45 minutes after the show. Like, there's no way Drake is here. I look around, and sure enough, fucking the
teleported.
boy just teleported just spawns in my
Toronto.
life.
Did you
bro.
get butterflies?
He spawns in my. What you mean?
Toronto's
Of course.
baby
not.
boy.
So this is-
no, that's Drake.
So this
That's
further
Drake right
furthers
there.
the conspiracy that they all have doubles.
Maybe, bro, because he
They're
was
all not
there
real.
quick.
I mean,
Yeah.
Drake,
maybe, you
Drake
know?
wasn't real.
bro, he's
Wouldn't you
Uncle
have a
Tim
double
isn't
if you
real.
could
he is
afford
real
it?
as fuck. Drake was real as fuck. Unc walked up to him.
I don't blame him if he's got one. Honestly, I
If
swear.
he has what?
A
A
double.
double. I have no problem.
and then you shook his hand.
It's a lot of work. Yeah,
I know.
Unc-
No, I mean, whatever. You know, I want one.
Yeah,
What?
a double. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so yeah.
If I could pay
clone.
for one. Yeah. I mean, the emotions would be tough. You know, like talking to it. Be like, bro, I don't want to know.
You ever seen
but-
that Paul Rudd show where he?
Oh yeah, I heard. I haven't seen it.
There's
but I
a
know what you're
real ass
talking about.
movie about Umar, who's what's Saddam's son?
Oh, you're talking about?
Devil's Double.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, that movie's crazy.
Bro.
Nah.
That movie's wild.
Double double. That's my favorite order.
That's
In and out.
Jose,
Devil's
Jose,
Double,
which are
not
the
Double
sons.
Double.
Yeah, they were
Animal
the
style.
sons.
This
It's
guy's
a
hungry.
wild movie. Devil's
Yeah.
Double.
Oh, the Devil's
And
Double.
yeah, man, that actor was wild. But yo,
He's
so
got to
continue.
play both people.
So,
So
yeah,
you
it's
met.
crazy.
You walked up
so
to Drake.
Unc walks up to him, just kind of like pimp steps over to him, like, and I follow him, right? And so he's like, he looks at Unc, Drake looks at Unc, he's like, "What up, gangster?"
Oh, that's nice.
And so he daps him up for that, you know what I'm saying? And then Unc is like, "I got to introduce you to my boy right here." And so
big moment.
daps me up big time.
It's a big moment.
It's like the year in the works of like building this friendship with
Yeah,
Unc.
yeah,
and he's
absolutely.
the whole time we're like planning on big things together, you know what I'm saying? Working
right,
together.
right.
Again, he fucked with the music from day one. So it's been the goal to meet him. But to see it actually happen, all those questions, is he actually his own, you know what I'm saying? All these like
Things
And
to,
for it
to
to
come to that
actually-
moment to be
yeah,
like,
man,
wow, like you know, I'm
big.
here with these like,
Did you start
you know,
rapping?
with these people I look up to and like
100%,
the,
bro.
Yeah, man.
And I didn't tell him much in the beginning, except for like we shook each other's hand.
What that
Unc-
dude's built is just incredible.
100%.
Over there, when I was in Toronto, I mean, OVO everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
right? And it's just like you
I
crazy.
mean, he made Toronto cool again.
He made Canada,
He
the
made
whole
Canada
country.
cool.
He made Canada. I thought Justin Bieber did that. Did not.
There's
No. Or
you
Celine
know, there's a
Dion.
lot of cool Canadian artists that people like don't know about.
Oh, I know.
Well, since Drake
Jim
opened
Carrey.
up for
Well, even
the-
before,
the
but like,
door.
I mean, most people
The Weeknd.
don't know that Justin Bieber is Canadian.
Bieber,
right.
yeah.
Dead Mouse,
That
Canadian.
must be okay.
A lot of there's
Ryan
a whole
Reynolds.
genre. There's a
Ryan
well,
Reynolds,
we're talking
Canadian?
music.
Yeah.
Wow, he's like an American. Like right now, everyone loves him, and now he's taking over the British with his soccer show or whatever. So
Yeah.
Europe.
yeah, so it's got Europe. He's taking.
Oh,
the
speaking of
Europeans.
Europe,
Being-
where do fruits go on vacation?
Where?
Paris.
Jesus.
Shout out to the
Funny.
Paris.
Shout out to pear. All the pear.
They're like, Rick Ross, how'd you lose all that weight? He's like, shout out to the pears.
Shout out. No, he said shout out all the pear.
Did he
the
lose weight?
pears.
Did DJ Khaled lose weight?
Well,
For a
both, yeah.
little
They,
bit.
they,
Bro,
I mean,
he
they
never
fluctuate.
loses, bro. All
I
he
know,
does is
he
win.
all do is win.
They
But
just
like-
dance.
But
But
Ross
like
did.
when he says that,
He doesn't want to lose the weight.
yeah, I know. But when he says
They
that,
did
he's
lose.
like, man, I want to win or whatever. But I want to have a conversation.
Have you seen
with
old
just him.
videos of DJ Khaled?
I mean,
Like when he was.
Oh, I saw him. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
thinner.
want to talk to him now. But I want to just like talk to him. Be like, what's
like-
going on, man? Like, how you
there's
doing
a
today?
there- Somebody posted an old video of him doing the Debke. It was
sick.
fire.
Really? So he
Yeah,
knows
he
what
actually
he's
knows how
doing.
to
He knows what
dance.
he's doing.
Like
Okay.
all the crazy stuff that he does for like the TikTok, like
I want to meet the real DJ Khaled. I want to meet the one that like when the
I met
cameras
him.
are off.
I
You
met
did.
him. Atif met him too. He's not.
he's
He's,
always
not
on.
as animated when the cameras
Oh,
are
that's
out.
tight. I like that.
That's another story. We're gonna get into that one later. But I want to get to the concert in Dallas.
Oh,
Because
I
that was
did
a
meet
big
him.
moment. That
I
was
met
a
him
big
on his
moment.
birthday.
You met him too. I want to hear that story too.
Yeah.
It's like $1
Anyway.
a minute here, bro.
Yeah. So you're
I
paying.
mean,
me,
we're
you're
waiting
paying me.
for.
Bro, what other? Do you have a better story than fucking meeting Drake, bro? Aubrey, come on,
I
tell
met,
it to
I
me.
I said Aubrey. You know how
I
the
met
girls,
my,
the girls meet a celebrity and then they're like,
This
oh, you know
guy's acting
Kevin.
It's not
like
the
I'm
weekend,
wasting
it's
time
Abel.
No,
talking
you know
about
Kevin.
fucking-
We were with
Papa.
We were like with Kevin last night, and it's like, who's Kevin?
It's Kevin, yeah.
No, you don't know Diplo's real name? It's like,
Hey,
Wrap it up.
Sammy. He's
Yo,
okay, hold
yo.
on. We're gonna intro him though. Hold
What
on,
up?
Hold up. We're
The
gonna
soccer
intro.
player.
So Sammy Obeid is the guest for this episode number 5. Sammy, welcome.
what's up, bro?
Major comedian on a big come up. He had a Netflix special, was it?
It was a series, actually.
Series. Okay.
Yeah, reality show.
How did that go? Tell us about it.
I watched it.
You saw it?
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was cool. It was like 100 people.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like, was it like polling? Explain it.
We did
it.
You got,
experiments.
you got
We had-
headphones, by the way.
We had 100. Would you prefer I use them or?
If you like, it's up to you.
Depends on the
It's
look
up
you
to you.
want for the.
I like to hear the sound of your guys' real voices.
Oh, okay.
bet.
Hey, I'm with you then. Hello.
Let's make sure he's in the frame, and then
You want to come with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's give him his intro, man. Because Sammy's been selling out shows all over the country. We are so
Follow up
lucky.
the mic too.
We're lucky to have him. You got it. We're lucky to have him. Grace us and his presence. I know you're going out on tour like in a few days, right? Like
Yeah,
to
I'm in the
continue
middle.
your
I'm in the middle
shows.
of a tour.
You're in the middle of a
I mean,
huge-
last night was a tour.
Yeah, last night was part
LA
of
is because now I don't live here anymore, so it's a tour date.
100%.
Where do you live?
You're nice
I live
enough
in
to.
the Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was here for like 12 years.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk
Nice,
about
you
that.
were nice enough to invite us to the show yesterday. We appreciated that.
Of course.
But we caught you in a window because you're only here for what, a few days, and then you're.
2 days. Yep.
How many cities have you hit this past year?
I've done like 70 cities. I got like 20 new ones left.
I can't even count that high.
Yeah, I saw your
How many
list, and it was
cities?
like just the final leg, and I'm like, that is like date after date after date.
And some of those are repeats of some cities I already hit.
Okay.
If a city's
Oh, so you like
popping
go
off-
back?
Yeah, I'll go back.
Oh,
so like
nice.
I did LA. I did LA last December and in April. So this is like third time in a year, basically.
Wow. That's
Because
sick.
usually anytime I see that, they just book like when you're there already. But to have to go back is crazy.
I
you
go
know?
back because like right now I'm still building, so it's like
Yeah.
if a city's popping, it'll make it. I can hit it because I write a lot of material, so I can come back and give them a new hour.
Right.
Comedians either they write a new hour every year, so they don't want to hit the city again, or like they don't need to because they got like they can sell out in like Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, yeah.
I like you had a joke the other day. You're like, well, it was on the video that we did that you posted of when you guys were kind of riffing with us in the crowd.
Yeah, right.
You were talking about like, I appreciate y'all coming to see me. You know, some comedians, you know, make it big. Others, you know, you might see them in a show in, you know,
On a
freaking-
truck?
On a
in
truck.
Torrance,
Yeah, right,
and then
right,
5 years later, you know, you're gonna see them in another show, and fucking was like,
Yeah, we met-
Alameda.
Yeah, like
We
we
met-
met Los Feliz or something.
Yeah. I mean, the comedian grind is crazy.
Yeah.
But we met you at Paul's show, the
Low-key
low-key
comedy.
comedy.
Yep.
Sammer actually is a producer. I don't know.
Oh,
were you there?
Sammer.
Oh, right on.
produces
bro. Good to see you,
low-key.
man.
Produces low key.
Yeah. Good, man.
Get out of his frame, dude.
No, that's good. man. Look, I
I'm
look
messing.
good.
I'm messing.
And now he's producing, helping us produce this.
Oh, right on, man. Right on.
And Matt
Yeah.
Rife was there too, and he's
Yep.
blown
That
up.
was like right as he was blowing up.
Directly into
Yeah. You do direct on.
yeah.
Right as he was blowing up.
There you go.
blowing
Yeah,
up.
Matt was there. It was a fun time. Me and him walked in late, so you guys kind of started picking on us a little in the crowd. You and Paul.
Yeah, because then Paul was like, "Oh, we should open up a halal guys." I'd be like, well, actually, it should be a halal guys.
Yeah.
That's memorable right there.
That's a perfect name for your farmer's
That's a
market
good
stand.
tour. Yeah.
Tell
So
all
you
guys.
should use it for something.
Yeah, for sure.
It's farmer's market.
Get like a logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time we didn't have the podcast yet. We were still ideating it, and so we ended up meeting you after, and we're like, "Yeah, man, we'd love to have you as a guest eventually."
Yeah. No, I could tell you guys were hungry and you were ambitious and you were like you were already doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember we
hell
talked about collaborating on something, so it's nice.
Something.
Still
Yeah,
got to do that. by the way.
Yeah.
We were-
Absolutely, 100%.
We were even gonna do some street interviews.
We
Remember?
should, yes.
Uh,
Because you're really good at that.
oh, thank you.
And I like directing and I like planning. So I was thinking we would because 100 Humans.
Yeah.
The show wasn't my idea, but I had basically a similar idea that I had been pitching for like years and years in Hollywood, and then that show happened to find me. It was like unrelated.
Okay.
So I've been always interested in doing experiments, and there's so much you can do just by doing like interviewing people on the street.
Yeah. No,
and-
100%.
and like learn stuff and gather data. You
Yeah.
know? So and I like interacting a little bit, but I like directing and planning. So I was thinking, we could design an experiment where you would do what you do,
Yeah.
but under the framework of like we're collecting some.
I'm planning
Nice.
on going
I
to
like
every state, going
yeah?
going around the country,
Nice.
and interviewing people in all 50
like
states.
like one after
Really?
the next, like consecutively.
yeah,
oh, nice.
like a month or 2 months,
That's
probably.
brilliant, bro.
That's
And
news.
yeah,
That's
Sammer,
news.
Oh, that
Can
just
you
gives me an
try
idea.
Let me know what your schedule is. I'll try to like link up with you in one of the states
Yeah.
if it like
Yeah,
intersects
yeah.
with the tour.
No, I mean we should definitely talk and do something. But
That's
I mean it's still in the
amazing, yeah.
I'm trying to like find some sponsors and stuff to
Yeah.
like a car company and a couple other sponsors and
Fantastic.
But-
Arco to sponsor you.
Arco, like anybody.
So
Just gas in LA.
All the gas stations.
Only
Man,
you can only
fucking
fill it up
gas
in
prices.
California because no one got Arcos at like
Right.
in the East Coast.
Literally.
Shell, please call me.
But yeah, so we end up talking, after whatever, and
Yeah.
then I end up seeing you live on IG a couple days ago. You were just promoting the tour.
Yeah. And then I saw your name, and then I told you I was like, dude, I just posted a video
Yeah.
with you in it.
The one that we had up in that, from that show.
Because we couldn't see you in the video, but you hear us talking to you guys.
Yeah. We made
Yeah,
those
we're like, oh, look,
jokes.
it's Palestinian Jesus.
So
It's like, that's
just
redundant.
Jesus, right?
yeah. So just Jesus.
Yeah, just Jesus. But
And then you were kind enough to invite us to the show yesterday, and that went super sick. It was dope. It was
That
nice
was great
seeing
having you guys.
How
Man.
long does it take to get an hour together?
So I do this thing every month. I write a new hour and I do it on Zoom. I have a kind of like a cult virtual following.
Oh yeah, you started that in the Pandy.
during the pandy, and basically so like
All of them showed up in person yesterday for you.
some of them, yeah.
The reels.
Yeah, the reels show. Yeah. And so there's people scattered all across the states. They tune into this network that I started, and they'll come see my hour every month, and then some new people kind of appear every month, and then that's where I just work out shit, and half of it moves on, half of it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. But like the stuff that I refine after a few months, I can do a new hour. Like I could feel confident about doing a new hour.
Yeah.
Live. But also because you guys came to the late show last night, right?
Yeah.
So the first show, I gave them the nice packaged, like clean cut hour
Structure.
I have this flaw in comedy, and I mean, I think it's a good thing, but it can be problematic.
You're a freestyler.
Because the second show, I don't like doing the same jokes like right after. I did a few of the jokes that I did in the 6 o'clock show, but it just doesn't feel genuine. Like I just told these people that I was at the store today. I'm not gonna tell this next. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So
Wait, what happened at the store?
Yeah, dude. Oh, you don't. It's crazy, bro. Basically, the joke is I stole from it, but yeah. Yeah.
But so let's back up a little bit
Yeah.
because they know you pretty relatively well. I
just met you last night.
we just met last night.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to know just the origin story, like what led you into comedy, and then like I realized that you're a smart guy. You have a background in math, and how that kind of incorporated into your stand up and so. Let's start.
So there's a long version, but I'll give you the
abridged version.
The bridge version. Yeah. So basically, I was always kind of a goofy kid. I had this kind of like class clown in me, which is some people find it very shocking because I'm kind of like I absorb kind of like what's in my environment. If I'm around people who just bring out the serious side of me, I'm a serious person. Yeah. If I'm around people who just enable this goofiness in me, it just comes out. Yeah. So whenever people from like high school or elementary find out that I do stand up, half of people are like, really? Like, I never would have seen that. Yeah. And then half of people are like, oh, yeah, for sure. I knew he was going to be a stand-up. And so there was always these kind of two sides of me, like kind of very serious, funny. And so I had that throughout high school. And then when I got to college, I'd always knew I was good at public speaking. Even when I was in 6th grade, they had me give like the class graduating speech because I was the best at it. Yeah. And so, and I was always good at making people laugh in that setting. And so in college, I took a public speaking course. And the first day, not the first day, but the first speech we gave, which was like a couple weeks into the course, everybody was laughing. I was trying to be serious. I was trying to give like a serious speech, and everybody was laughing. And the professor pulled me aside. He's like, "Yo, you should try stand-up comedy." Wow. This is when I was 18 years old. Okay. Damn. And so he's like, I took a stand-up class with this guy in San Francisco. I'm gonna hook you up with him. So he hooked me up with a guy, and I took the class. First day of the class, I did like my little intro speech, and then after the class, the teacher pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, I want to put you on a show right away." What? So he booked me on a show right away.
Shout out that professor.
And you were in in college studying.
I was in college. I was undeclared. So I was undeclared. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do. But my first year, I was always good at math. Like I was always good at math, but I hated it like through high school. I was good at it, but I hated it. Like I could do it, but I didn't want to do it anymore. So when I was a senior in high school, I passed I got a 5 on the AP. Did you guys do AP tests?
Yeah.
Okay, on the BC calculus test, which is like the highest calc test you can take and the highest grade you can get.
5 is insane. Yeah, it's like 100% almost. Yes. Yeah.
And 5 specifically, only when you get a 5 on the BC can you not need to take math ever again in college.
Oh, that's true.
And so I didn't need to take math. I was done. I was done. I was like, I'm done.
That like biblical math?
Yeah, pretty much, dude. BC. Yeah.
BC. It's before COVID.
Before COVID, exactly. Yeah.
Yo, we can't.
Yeah. It was before this guy. No, but yeah. So I passed out of math. So I had no math to do in college, and I was like victorious. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm done with math. But then I got to college. We have to write essays and.
You're like, I'd rather do math.
Yeah, I was like, man, I miss how easy that shit was.
Yeah. You know, I studied engineering, so we went into like Calc 4 and like it got so crazy. Yeah. And I to the point where I understood it, I was like, oh, I love this because it's so like straight up.
Concrete.
Right.
And then it's like the integral of a 3D thing, and I'm like, I don't understand this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm just phoning this in, and
It gets crazy
getting out of there.
fast.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
gets crazy fast. So I was just like, I just want to take a math class just to see like what I was missing out on. And I took a math class, and it wasn't even that great. It was just kind of like, but I was still good at it.
Said no one ever, by the
Yeah,
way.
so no one ever.
Like,
I was just looking for a challenge, and I didn't like what.
And also, like,
no, for
being
sure.
a good public speaker and being good at math is usually not the same.
Yeah,
Well,
usually
a good
far.
combo.
You become a
Venn
math
diagram.
teacher.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what I did.
But usually math teachers
really?
aren't really
Yeah.
that good at teaching too.
True. No,
Yeah.
no. That's. I mean, that's my theory as to why most people are not into math is because the math. Yeah, the people who are leading the math front are not
Good at
charismatic.
talking.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
Did you ever go back to like the education field? And
Yeah, well. I mean, ultimately, I know it's in my place to be doing. No,
to teach?
Hey man, you've had a good run.
Last night was my last show.
No, I'm not
I'm
saying
going back
that.
to LA Unified. No.
Like
no.
as like a
No, not
like
like
Kanye
that.
getting his PhD from
Yeah. No, I mean, I
fake.
think it's important to always be learning. I mean, I wouldn't put it past me to at some day register in a class just to like keep my mind rolling, but more so that I know that I have a calling to do educational entertainment.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
So, and I already do it. I do it like privately. I do it with some like contract works, and people hire me to write stuff. I haven't been the face of it for my own things yet, and I've been putting it off because to me, I want a team to do it, and I haven't met people who are as committed to
the maths.
the good math.
Yeah.
The good math, and that are also like really. I don't need the people to be funny. I just need them to be committed and to be into the common cause and want to like help collaborate. And I know I'm going to find these people. I know they're out there.
Absolutely.
And also like I've had people in the past who were interesting, but I wasn't in a place to like pay them well. So it like you have to pay people to So I'm
the math
finally,
has to be right.
exactly. They have to
The
crunch
math
numbers.
ain't mathing. I
the
can't
math ain't
do it
mathing.
for
They can
50.
check those paychecks. They're like, I'm doing this for zero. But yeah.
This is
so-
like a next step in the career anyway, right? It's
Yes.
like
So
a later
it's like now it's basically on me to be like, I got to start this. I got to build my team. I got to finance them, and I got to start making math videos. Yeah. So it's on my docket. It's just that I'm also doing my own tour and everything like that. I'm putting everything together.
really?
Yes. But to answer your question, yes, I know that's my call.
How did the math get into the comedy? Like, when did you put a math joke? What was your first math joke?
Oh, so that didn't happen until maybe. No. I started kind of talking about it about a year in. So just to kind of go back chronologically. Yeah. So I realized that I love math, and I started taking math classes. Decided I was doing a math minor, then became a math major because I just had to take like 3 more classes. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm a math guy now." I was the opposite because like there's this class that you first take in college math that's like, this is hard, this is confusing. This is not the easy math I knew, but you get past that hill, and then it becomes all theoretical. You're not just like like scribbling numbers and doing subtraction anymore. You're like writing pages and pages of why shit is shit.
Really? In
Yeah.
like words?
In words.
For math.
So you went back to writing
Was it
essays.
like a
Yes.
chalk,
So ironically, I went back to writing essays, but about math.
right?
Interesting.
Like a
What type of-
chalkboard Oppenheimer type situation.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. And that's how every math class is in upper division
Yeah.
What do you
college
talk
math.
about? Like what type of things are you describing?
So like things that we take for granted that we learn in elementary school, we now prove why that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
Like examples.
Gravity?
Yeah, grab. No, I mean that's a physics application.
I mean, like I just
Yeah.
saw Interstellar for like the 8th time the
Yeah.
other day, and there's that scene where she's like looking at the huge amount of equations and stuff. She's like, "Oh my god, we've been doing this wrong." The whole is it kind of like how it is, like where you can kind of see the theory, and then you can see like the egregious like mistake.
it's
of,
all
like,
pattern recognition.
Yeah.
It's all at some point you're just trained to recognize patterns. You're trained to use definitions, and so basically, if they say this is the definition of this, and this is a theorem, you have to use those to build off of your knowledge in order to make your proof later.
Interesting.
So I mean, I can't think of an example that's like relatable
That's
to
fine,
people of
that's
like
fine,
something
yeah.
to prove, why something is something. But it's like there actually is like a proof of like why 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm saying?
That's still, yeah.
Without
Isn't there-
taking for granted that 1 and 1 are numbers.
Right.
You
I've
know?
recently heard like one of those silly conspiracies talking about like I think it was trying to disprove a basic like 1 + 0 isn't
Well, because it's all
one
so
or
there's
something.
first of all, there's always there's certain paradoxes in math. Like you take one route and it leads you to this answer, like but that doesn't line up with this, even though we use the definitions, because there's sometimes this little wiggle room in certain situations that it's like this ambiguity that might lead you to a different scenario because it wasn't well defined. There's also we rely on definitions. If you say, hey, I'm not going to use 0 because there's no proof that 0 exists.
Really?
One could say that and then construct a whole argument like this is 1 + 1 is equal to 2 because 0 doesn't exist.
Right. Okay. That's.
I saw like a meme. It was like when biology starts becoming physics, you should turn around.
Yeah.
And like when math starts becoming physics,
Right.
Like it's like the double slit theory, for example. Where
Oh, that is
when
crazy.
you're looking at it, the electrons or the particles act in a certain way, and when you're not looking at it, they act in a different way.
When they're observed.
So
That's insane.
It's
to me.
crazy.
So like
Even-
it reminds me of what you were saying.
At the first show last night, actually, somebody
Quantum
brought up.
entanglement, right?
Oh, was that the
That
second show?
show?
That was the
Yeah.
second show. Oh,
Entanglement.
That's
shit.
another
Yeah.
very
That was
fascinating
that's absolutely
phenomenon.
Yeah.
I think she was just trying to explain why her ex-boyfriend wasn't texting
Yeah,
her.
yeah, for
entanglement.
sure.
He's still
for sure,
thinking
for
about
sure.
me, even though he's over
I
there.
know.
Can we go into the
We're
double
all-
slit?
Always connected.
I
No
mean,
matter
he's
what.
not.
Yeah.
You're not really a physicist, but like,
I'm not
we
really a
could talk
physicist,
about
but
it.
I mean,
Just from, like, a
I mean,
general-
I've heard stuff about it. I
Tell us what
actually,
you know.
I don't know. I don't think I know any more than you do.
Okay.
But I'm actually very much inclined. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I know what I know, and when I don't know shit, I'll tell you I don't know
sure,
it.
for sure.
But I've heard of it, and I know it's very interesting. But I should,
From what I understand, it's so they shined light through
Yeah.
two slits,
Right.
right? And
Not light, but they
they shot waves
particle-
first,
yeah,
light,
waves.
particles.
Yeah.
particles.
Yeah.
First, I think it was light, I believe, photons.
Yeah,
Essentially.
photons. Yeah.
And then they saw how the waves respond, and the waves how they reflect on the
Right.
on the screen. Or
Right,
whatever,
right.
And waves eventually will overlap in something. They'll create these patterns.
Yeah.
I forget the term for it, but they're there's a pattern that they create, and then when they shined individual particles, those particles you would expect them to just shoot like darts
Yeah.
on the screen, right? It would just be tuk, 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 versus a wave where it's showing up like differently, right? But they observed that when they shot the particles, they actually showed up just as waves do. There was an interference. There was an interference signal from the particles, and they're like, "How are the particles interfering with each other?" Turns out that the particles acted like waves.
Right.
So then they went to measure it, and once you observe it, the particles revert to acting like particles.
They're like, oh,
And now
we're
they're-
doing what we're supposed to be
Yeah,
doing.
Right.
Yeah,
literally
like,
you
like,
observe
looking
this.
at it.
But how did you know
the
what they
most
were when you
fundamental
didn't
element-
observe them? I don't know.
Well, you
There's
observe the
cameras and-
result.
yeah,
you
yeah.
observe the result versus observing. I don't know exactly the.
Yeah, it
again,
sounds
once
like you
again,
don't. It sounds like you don't know what you're
generally
This is
talking about.
exactly how
a
it
big
is. I just
obsession in
don't know
physics
the
is like particle versus wave behavior
theory.
and
it's the
so
dual-
this is an
And
example of that.
yeah, like observe versus not.
Yeah.
and Schrodinger's cat type
Right.
situation.
So it's like
yeah.
when it could be, they can act as both particles and waves at the same time, which essentially means once you capture something, it's there for you.
It's because I don't
But
think
when
I
you
don't think we've actually distinguished if like it is one or the other.
Right.
You know what
and
I'm saying?
it seems like it's both,
Yeah.
depending on whether or not it's observed.
Right.
So that can go to the simulation or the theory of like, if a tree falls when you're not there, did it ever fall? Did it make a sound? It's like there's a
Yes,
reality.
it did.
It's like
Right?
it's
All
like
right, guys.
But does reality exist outside of your perception?
well, it's like somebody whoever brought up last night multiverses. Somebody brought up multiverses last night, and then you guys brought up Tupac.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then somebody said like I was trying to like think of like a multiverse.
I said
Tupac.
metaverse too.
You said metaverse too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was I mean sometimes like my brain's able to connect everything
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
sometimes it didn't.
Phenomenally, by the way.
But thank you so much. But I know there is another universe where my brain did get that.
Yeah.
Tupac
There it
multiverse joke.
That could have been it right
yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly.
That was
That
it.
should have been it.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
one day later.
Yeah.
You're so
literally.
good at like just taking what people tell you and running with it and kind of making a joke,
Like
a
riffing
pun.
it, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
If
man.
puns come to me really easily, so it's just I'm blessed that like they usually just fall into my lap because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And then in terms of just like listening, like I've noticed that like because I used to not do any crowd work. If you watch me like even 4 years ago, I didn't do crowd
yeah,
work.
you like weave it in now. I saw like
I started doing it a lot
Yeah,
post
we
pandemic.
talked about
The
it, like
tangents.
how like
Tangents,
bringing it back to Matt Rife, even
Yeah.
our previous guest. We're
Yeah.
talking about how almost like in the Instagram or like real
Yeah.
modern world,
Yeah.
crowd work is like what hits on social media, and this is how people get big. Like I feel like I only saw Matt Rife. Like I've never seen him really just do stand up. It's always
Right.
him interacting with the crowd, and those are the ones that are getting like millions of views.
Right,
Where he's
right.
talking about like banging moms and stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
His
No,
new
it's-
special though, he has a lot of.
He
like,
has a lot of material. There's been a crowd work revolution recently.
Right.
It's starting to not necessarily die out. Crowd work videos will continue to do well. It's just that like there's a point where it will become oversaturated. It's like it's kind of on its way to that. Because as a comedian, I didn't do crowd work for the longest time because I saw so much of it when I was starting out comedy. So if you're a comedian, you see crowd work in every comedy club you go to. And so it's now finally being exposed. So the public's finally seeing what we've been seeing all these years. And so it's fresh, it's novel. After about 5 years of seeing crowd work over and over again, I was like, I'm not going to invest my time in that because it's non-transferable. It just exists in the room. Lo and behold, I didn't know that 10 years later it would explode onto the internet.
Tape it.
Just goes to show.
Yeah.
But so then I was like, you know what? I was like, crowd work is fun, and I think it'll also help me engage the
Right.
audience a little more. So I started doing more.
And I
of
think
it.
Talal and I were talking about this. How do you like differentiate between like somebody shouting something versus like heckling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you invite it, then you shouldn't count it as heckling.
Because yesterday you handled it really well, and you pretty much responded to every single thing that was said to you. It was
Right.
like you were very with the room.
Right. My approach to heckling is different because first of all, I often ask people for stuff, and so if later somebody shouts out something, it's kind of like I did kind of put it out there earlier, so I'm not gonna all of a sudden be like, oh, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
But how do
You
you,
never
like
kick-
how do you like reel it back when somebody's doing it too much?
You never
maybe?
kicked someone out?
It happens. It happens.
You've kicked someone out. People kick people out. You're like, bro, get this guy out of here.
I don't think
I saw Fahim Anwar once. This guy was just like saying something every time he talked, and he was like, bro, get this guy out of here. And I was like, you did what you had to do. You got to do your set, right?
'Cause you're ruining it for the rest of the crowd. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've actually been lucky enough to never have that problem, but I've had the problem where people won't shut up, and that's in a situation where there's no bouncer, there's nobody. So it was really just on me to like try to crack
Please
it.
stop talking,
Yeah.
bro. I'm trying to tell
No,
you
you
a
handle
joke.
it. You handle it.
Some of the worst ones, if they're just completely obnoxious and they have this thing where it's clearly like they're trying to be the funny one, and they want to be the funny one, I invite them on
Yeah.
stage,
Really?
and then they just
They bomb?
They implode.
And
They,
sometimes
they
it's,
can't-
is it usually
Wow.
fueled by alcohol or like
Genius.
are they usually like
Yeah.
inebriated or something?
yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
tell us the horror story. Like,
There's one on my Instagram. I mean, you can see it. There was a dude who just kept saying, "You're not funny. You're not funny." And then I'm like, "Oh, okay. Why don't you come up here?" And then he came up there and he started trying to like make fun of me. He's like, "You look gay in that pink shirt." And then I was just like, "Okay."
wow. Original.
And then I forget what I said, and he was like, I was like, "Oh, you homophobic or something?" He's like, "I'm not homophobic, I'm Muslim." I was like, "What?" And then, I was like, "You what?"
Merch, make it, write that down. Write that down.
I'm not homophobic. I just don't like gay people. Like, what?
That's the
definite.
And
my
then
cousin's like, how can I be homophobic?
right.
My cousin's gay.
And then he had a shot of tequila in his hands. I'm like, "Are
He's
you Muslim,
Muslim.
bro? Like, you're not, you're drinking tequila."
Wow.
And then
of course, but no pork and no
And no
homos.
gays.
Yeah. And then he's like, and then he would go back.
You can't say homos.
Really?
Yeah.
Hummus.
You can say
Hummus, I'm
hummus.
just saying
Yeah. No,
hummus,
hummus. Yeah.
I'm a hummus.
Homosexual.
So, I wanted to know why some people spell it HUMMUS and then HOMMOS or something like that. It's
Google it.
It's like kebab. Some people smell it.
Yeah, it's
spell
'cause
it
there's-
kebab.
Yeah, I guess.
but the
people are agreed
pronunciation,
on that.
everyone says hummus, right? It's not,
Hummus.
and then they
Everyone
Oh, we got into the
No,
Arab
I
stuff.
mean
Some people say
the
hummus.
American way is hummus.
Yeah,
hummus. Hummus.
hummus.
but it's still you, right? Not
It's
O.
you. It's two U's, but we say hummus. Yeah.
You say hummus?
I
Well,
guess I
we
could
say. I
see
mean,
an O.
I'm
hummus.
stressing the O. We say hummus, but like the O is present, whereas in the USA it's hummus.
Exactly.
Hummus.
So maybe that
Hummus.
spelling is to make it more like accurate, phonetically.
Yeah. Well, it clearly got lost.
Let's make
in
a joke about
translation.
hummus.
Yeah.
You got one?
Oh, I mean, I got a lot of jokes about hummus.
Come on, give us some.
I actually made a whole
Hummus
sketch
is not a
about
joke.
it.
It's a way of life.
Made a whole sketch because my former roommate was a comedian and he's Jewish. We did a couple sketches about like a Palestinian Jewish roommate, and they both went viral.
Really? What,
The
who
first
was-
one went
yeah.
crazy viral. This was in 2014.
Who was it?
His name is Toby Morishanu.
Okay.
So you can look them up. They're both on my socials somewhere. You just put I'm Palestinian. My roommate is Jewish. And the first one was just about like sharing the apartment and like put up a divider and like
Nice.
this whole conflict escalated. And then the second one was about who has ownership of hummus.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he was claiming that it was his, and I was claiming that it was mine. And
Like in the fridge.
yeah. Oh. And then we have a hummus fight, and then we have a competition, and he makes his hummus, and I make mine, and then we have like people from the world judges. It was
Was it real people from the world?
no. It was a sketch. It was a sketch. It was a sketch.
Did we take the W?
No, and the sketch was that the rest of the world's too racist to know the difference.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
You could have incorporated that free Peloton thing.
Free Peloton, dude. That's a
That was-
keeper right there. Free Peloton. That one just fell into our laps because she was just like, yes, I don't even know she thought, because you
Like
said
if
Palestine.
the Jewish guy was riding your Peloton without your permission or something, and you're like, free Peloton.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Struggling with the sleeve. We gotta change the sleeves on
work
these
out, bro.
shirts.
Oh, we got merch.
It's got to get bigger.
Alright,
Oh, you guys
What
got
do you think
merch
about the
too.
merch?
Oh yeah, what's up? Send some my way. I'll rock it.
Oh yeah. We'll send you a few options and stuff.
Now, is it so you're Sammy Obeid, right?
Obeid, yep.
Is that just a name or does it mean something?
Abid.
No, it's Obeid is it's a Arab last
Palestinian
name.
last name. It's a famous-
Yeah, some Palestinians. I think it comes from my Syrian ancestry, as far
okay.
as I know.
So what's your what's your family background?
Yeah, so dad's Lebanese Palestinian. So his mom's Palestinian from Jaffa. Left in '48. Yep. He grew up in Beirut, and his dad is Lebanese, but like from the mountains. Probably originally Syrian. All as everybody there. And then my mom's dad is similar, like my dad's dad, also Lebanese from the mountains.
Macaw?
Syrian.
Your chicken.
Yeah. No, I mean they're
That's where my family's from. My dad's from Beirut.
really?
My mom's from Ba.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I was just there. It was amazing.
Oh, nice.
Great food.
That's where he got all his
Really?
designer clothes from.
Designer clothes. Yeah.
In Beirut or in?
Well, no, I
Burj
spent
Hammoud.
time in both, but
Okay.
yeah, I was in the Ba, and it was great food, but they didn't have like you take stuff for granted out here, like electricity. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah. Like electricity.
But the food was amazing, They had a McDonald's and a KFC also. Like when you
Okay.
got
The
tired,
Food was amazing.
when you got tired of the shawarma.
Did you try those?
But they hit
Yeah. McDonald's hit different, and it was like $5 for a whole meal.
Arabia.
Does it
Was
actually
it like
taste?
halal? Like
It was
like
halal.
lamb?
Yeah.
Of course.
They,
was
they
halal
even
McDonald's.
they even use like the soda is different even there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like the syrups are different. The
They
way they
drink
mix
Kind
it.
of sugary.
They drink
Yeah.
Pepsi everywhere
more
except
sugar,
for
less
Less.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
It's like real sugar, but
Yeah.
they drink Pepsi everywhere except for McDonald's, and then they drink Coke products.
Oh shit.
Isn't that interesting?
But yeah, it does taste.
Pepsi.
You can like. I remember Burger King and Jordan tasted like good.
Well, the
Good.
Burger King and
Yeah,
McDonald's
yeah,
was
yeah.
so bad. Oh, I forgot about it. It
Lebanon?
was it was so bad.
Burger King was
The one
bad?
we went to was just bad.
Really?
I'm sorry.
You clearly didn't have the McCufta.
Yeah, right.
You just lost your sponsorship, man.
Oh damn.
No, I thought it was Bomb and Jordan, like the Burger King over there. I used to love.
Must have been.
But it's a little underrated, I think, compared to Mickey D's. But anyways, that's a different.
What's
So-
the funniest Arabic country?
Funniest Arabic country to like make fun of?
Yeah.
To make one of?
No, just
Or like the funniest people from that
funny
country.
Whatever.
Which one?
I know you were gonna say something right now, but
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think the Lebanese are the easiest to have fun with because Lebanese are just fun-loving people, and
But we're like the butt of every joke now, apparently,
Yeah.
because of like how effeminate I guess people see us.
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause you're-
we take care of ourselves.
I mean, you're
That's
wearing-
the-
only
wearing-
ones who
look
can
at this
take a joke. Really,
he's wearing makeup right now.
yeah.
yeah, like you're least likely to get blown up for a joke by a Lebanese person. That's just how it works. you know?
Yeah.
That's a good theory. Yeah,
And of course, like Lebanese women are stereotyped as like being
Beautiful.
beautiful and like
Sultry.
Plastic
Yeah.
surgery too.
Accent.
Right,
Like the
right,
accent
right.
is just a feminine accent. That's why when the guys do it, it sounds because it's sexy when
Right.
a woman does it.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. And then you can't, making fun of Palestinians are victims. You can't make fun of
Can't.
Palestinians.
I mean,
And
you
then-
can, but
Yeah, you can. You can. I mean, you can. You can culturally, like, if you're Palestinian, you can.
like one time
obviously-
he was staying on my couch, and I was like, classic,
Wait, why?
because the Lebanese accepted all the
Yeah,
Palestinians.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It
a
was a
crash on
refugee
his
camp
couch
on
one
his
night.
I was
The
like,
Syrians too.
That's
There's a lot
by
of
the way, that's
Syrians.
actually technically my origin story.
yeah?
But yeah, so
Yeah. The Lebanese let everybody come in. The Armenians, you know.
yeah.
We let
country of
everybody
4
in.
And then I
million.
tried taking over his ownership of his dogs.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't. I mean, and you don't want to make fun of Saudis.
They're pretty serious.
Especially the
They're pretty
government.
It's I mean, it's even it's definitely don't do it there, and it's even dangerous over here. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it. You
Yeah.
know, get chopped
What
up.
about Egyptians? Pretty lighthearted.
Egyptians are fair game. Egyptians are fair game. I guess I've never been criticized by an Egyptian spectator.
Okay.
So you have all these parts. So do you just see yourself as Arab, or do you identify with one more than the other?
Well, I identify. I mean, I'm mostly Lebanese, but I identify a lot as Palestinian because most of the culture I learned from my grandma. I spent the most of the time with her out of all my grandparents. You know, she writes cookbooks, so Palestinian cooking, cuisine, I learned through her. She told me stories of, you know, the orange groves and everything they had in Jaffa, and so like I feel connected with that culture just because of how close. But technically, I'm a quarter Palestinian. I'm a half Lebanese.
That's so rare to have. Like usually the women in Arab culture is just eyeball everything, and they never write it down. I was like, Mom, please, write it
Someone's
down.
got to write it down.
That shit.
Oh my God, I'm checking the books. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
There's a guy on Instagram called Voice Note Chef.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed because he does I forget which family member does it, but they like over WhatsApp they'll send a voice message, and he'll like cook from that voice message.
Wow.
It's
Wow,
amazing. Yeah. So it's really nostalgic. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy
Yeah.
when you get to that level of cooking for like years and years and years. You just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can learn though. I've learned that personally because I started off in college just making spaghetti, and like that was my one dish.
now you make linguine.
5 times a week, and now I'm making fettuccine.
Yeah.
No, now I can make bechamel, fett djaj,
Oh, wow.
mlokhia. Like once you get familiar in the kitchen, like everything compounds because it's only a few elements you have to cook.
Right.
You know how to make chicken, you know how to make.
What's your favorite meal?
And just overall.
overall?
And then Arab as well, you know? If it's not an Arab dish.
Right.
You gotta be like pizza. Okay, what about an Arab one?
Like in terms of Arab dishes, just because like rarity, like things that like my Tata would make a lot is when we were kids, like kusa. I like kusa a lot.
Kusa mahshi with the
We got kusa in at Sunan Cafe recently. It was really
yeah?
good.
It was
Yeah.
really
It's
good.
like you serve it regularly, or was it like a one-time thing? Or
No, they serve it
regularly.
It's on the menu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's in Sunin. It's on. Have you been there? It's on.
No, I haven't.
Sunset, is it?
Okay.
Or West Hollywood, Westwood.
Sunin?
Oh, okay.
Sunin's in like next to where I live. It's Santa Monica.
Westwood area. They shot the Palestinian chicken episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, they over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Really nice.
I know you'd
folks.
like
Apparently,
that.
like Al Pacino like
classic,
pulls up there
That's so
sometimes
good.
and eats
Nice.
there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had
cool.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's good then.
Yeah.
It's pretty well known. Yeah.
So on the topic of like Arab identity, maybe if we take a step back
Yeah.
and get a little like historic or political, and even
No, we can't do that.
no, I just want to know like because we had a comment on our last video, we were talking about Jordan, and someone was like, "Well, the Jordanian identity is fabricated. It was used to be just Palestine, and then it became." But that's not entirely true. It used to be Transjordan, that included Palestine.
Right.
But
Trans rights matter.
That's true.
but,
Trans Jordan rights.
Yeah, no, we ever talked about
that too.
Transjordan rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to say like a step back, maybe all the Arab identities essentially came when we got split up by the British, right?
Right.
And then we developed these like national identities and Arab, between
Yeah,
Lebanese.
it's really it's really sad in a lot of ways because often I experience because I post a lot of these videos about free Palestine and all sorts of stuff, so I get a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit, and people always saying Palestinian is a made up identity, and Arabs had their chance to have all these countries, and it's always a lot of I get a lot of anti-Arab stuff directed at me, even though I know it's like a small segment of people who are like doing that, but I don't like it's. I see the worst of it, and it's just really sad because Arabs were imperialized. Like there could have been Arab nationalism, but the West at every point tried to undercut them and segregate them and divide them. Yeah. I read this book 2 years ago about. It's called A Line in the Sand. Basically, there was this division between England and France when they broke up the Ottoman Empire on who would colonize who, and of course, Lebanon went with France. And and
Lebanon and Syria, right?
Yeah,
with France
Lebanon,
and
Syria.
then Palestine and Jordan were English.
Yes,
Okay.
and even Iraq too. Yeah, and so that division basically shaped the whole future of Middle East politics.
Absolutely.
Because they fragmented them, they gave them different kind of colonial cultures, and in a sense they pitted them against each other.
Exactly.
And so that's why like the instability in Syria, the civil wars in Lebanon can all be traced back to rooted in this agreement that just two dudes made. It was called the Sykes-Picot Agreement.
Sykes-Picot,
Exactly, yeah. And these guys just divided
Sat there with their English coffee and
Yep.
muffins and it's
Yep.
like, oh, we'll draw
English
this line
tea.
here.
and created decades and decades, maybe even centuries of turmoil in the
100%.
Middle East.
Still felt to this day.
Yeah.
But to be fair and to answer to the
Yeah.
folks that say there is no such thing as a Palestinian identity, it's false because within the land, I mean, there were natives to different parts of the
100%.
land of
100%.
Arabia, right? So the Palestinians had their orange groves,
Right.
They had their Mediterranean, the sea right there, and
Yeah, the whole thing about Palestinian being made up and like what the people who make this argument say, they say Palestinian was created in 1968, which is complete bullshit. I mean, of
course not.
British Mandate Palestine was a thing.
Right.
Like Palestine existed on maps in the early 20th century, and then the root of the word Palestine, like Philistine.
Philistines.
What does that mean?
What does Philistine mean exactly?
It was a nation.
But it was
that lived
people.
in the
Okay.
land.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Canaanite.
Philistine have somehow have a bad connotation?
Yes, because the
because
Philistines were
the
essentially
David versus
there were
Goliath.
sea peoples who tended to be invaders back in the time, and they often squabbed with the the ancient Israelites, and so Philistine then became like the enemy, the notion of the enemy. But I mean, it was essentially a culture, and the thing is, there's no direct link between the Philistines of the past and Palestine today. But the etymology, because of the link of the name, and clearly because the Arab people who are in that region have roots. A lot of people have roots there for centuries and centuries and centuries. Potentially, certainly, there were Philistines who eventually became Palestinians,
Right.
but it's not like necessarily a direct link.
Right.
But the nature, all of the roots of the word Palestine go back to nearly the exact same century as the roots of the word Israel.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that. But the thing is, the problem is like you have people making arguments on because Arabs. The thing is that Arabs out of defense will like overreach and they'll be like, no, Palestine was there, 3,000 years ago. Like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. But like the roots of it were,
Muslims
and the
were.
people, yes, like the people who became Palestinians certainly do. Like the Canaanites were there
Canaanites, yeah,
before there was Judaism. So and
You go far back,
yeah, Semitic tribes.
The thing
And-
is,
yeah,
I mean, the whole conversation is almost arbitrary because we were both there.
right,
We
right,
we both have
100%.
ties to the land.
100%.
Abraham had two sons,
right.
Ishaq and Ismail.
Right.
And I feel like what the other side a lot of times does is ignore the promise, ignore the existence of Ismail
Right.
and his people entirely, and
Right.
say, there's a great promised land to Ishaq.
Totally.
He promised both Ibrahim's sons,
Right.
fruitfulness and kingdoms, and so
Right.
we're both supposed to be.
But you see all the
cousins.
arguments.
And that's the interesting thing about that specific time period because and this is one project that I've been really wanting to do is actually going through the history and going like actually through what we know at
Yeah.
every level of time
Right.
because there's a point in history where we don't have as much like science and archaeology, but all we have is the Bible. And at that point, and I read this interesting, I forget where I read it, but it was basically said that like at some point the Bible actually becomes a better teller of history because they would be less likely to lie than just like folklore. You know what I mean? I'm not wording it the best way, but it's like
what you mean.
there's a point where like the Bible kind of at least does tell you possibly what was going on at the time, and then there's also the archaeology and stuff. But yeah, the bottom line is the people who are now Israelis and Palestinians. Of course, Israelis. People can come all the way around the world.
That's another
convert.
thing. A lot of them
Yeah.
are coming from
Yeah,
blue
European.
eyes,
Right.
white skin.
Right.
It's like, did you really belong to this
Right.
land?
But in terms of the indigenous, Jews who came from that part of the
did.
world,
Yeah,
100%,
yeah.
and they both trace back to the same time,
Right.
and who predates them is the Canaanites and all the Semitic tribes that came before them.
Mm-hmm.
Another argument that people often say is that Arabs are not Semitic, and this is bullshit.
How can
9
it
out
be?
of 10 historians will tell you that Arabs are Semitic people. There's just one hater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anybody who ever says, no, Arabs aren't Semitic, okay, anti-Semite and anti-Semite, those were terms that were created in Germany against Jewish people specifically.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
But in terms of, if we're talking logically, by definitions, Arabs are Semitic people, 9 out of 10 fucking historians will agree.
Again, we descend from the same father.
Right.
It's the same lineage.
Right. Right. So biblically, archaeologically, they all go back to that same period. And then and I have this, I have a joke where I go like through the history of the whole thing. And basically, like before the Semitic tribes, it was just like some random tribes from Africa. So it's like, give black people a piece too. You know?
Facts. I mean, the whole world, everything started out in Africa.
Yeah, it's all started.
It comes down to just like being able to coexist, man. Like just coexisting and not having the selfish life.
And not letting your past define your present and future.
Exactly.
You have
That's
to
hard
be
part.
able
Easier
to
said than
forgive.
done.
No,
You
of
have
course.
to, but at the same time, it's
Never forget.
tough.
Right.
Are you about to say something?
Yeah, I was about to move on to another
I was
question.
gonna say real quick, like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like you mentioned Saudi, and I think they're like stopped doing peace talks with Israel because they're like now we want Palestinian rights and stuff.
Oh, really?
they're
Did that
flexing-
happen recently? I didn't know about that.
MBS, no, I watched his interview with Fox just a few days
like-
ago.
Who
It
said
came out. MBS was saying
he was
basically
we're
the
going
Palestinian
straight
issue is important to
Could
us.
just be political, though, right?
Yeah, it's all
well, no,
both.
'cause
I don't
they-
believe
MBS,
anybody.
great guy. Great guy.
Great guy.
I love him.
MBS.
Love him.
Yeah, but he
Yo,
did
sponsor
say-
the podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Aramco,
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
We would love to work with you guys.
Please pay us some money. We'll
No, but
defend you every day.
He did say that he wants the Palestinian issue is important to him, and he's made actual moves. Like he issued a map, and he includes on it Palestine. It's called Palestine.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, they sure as hell are in the position to do something.
Inshallah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And then all right. So moving on. What Arab stereotypes are true?
All of them. all of them. Every single one.
Like what? Tell us.
Which are the most true?
Well, when I stepped into this room, I smelled cologne instantly.
Okay.
And that's good.
It's just my pheromones. I just ooze Dior Sauvage.
That's true.
Bad decisions.
Right.
Where do you want to get into it? So, do you have groupies?
Because we saw one
Can
yesterday.
we define groupies? So just to make sure I'm accurate answering this question.
What's a groupie? A groupie is a female fan
Okay.
who has a personal interest in the star, the entertainer, and wants to show that her affection in whatever way that she.
So that's
decides.
it. That's just definition.
I think so.
Yeah, I have.
Is a comedy
I have
groupie like different than like a rock star groupie?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why do you
A rock
ask?
star groupie will follow you.
Yeah, because you're like, do you have a different definition of groupie?
Well, I don't know. I mean, because you think groupies, sometimes you think, oh, like they follow you to the shows, they're at every show, and like
Sounds like a good thing.
out, and
Yeah.
you might even invite them back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship, so I don't.
I see.
I don't partake in the groupies.
So you just be nice and be like,
But I'm
"Thank
very
you."
nice. Yeah, my girlfriend's very understanding that I
Or a superstar.
that I can kind of like flirt back with them in a way that's not like
Keep him as a fan,
keep-
but
yes,
not
exactly.
progressive.
Keep
I also
them
heard
just enough.
there's roadies too, right?
roadies. Yeah,
Isn't that just what a groupie
Roadies,
does
some-
while you're on tour?
Okay. Roadie gives the roadie. I
think like they get on.
I thought a roadie is somebody who helps you like set up the stage.
Yeah, production.
Yeah.
Well, there was a girl that walked up to you after the show yesterday, and she was sitting front and center.
She was giving you
the
the
one that was
eyes.
talking to you through. She was
Just
like not
3
heckling,
hugs later.
but she had a lot to say throughout the show. She kept like having a conversation with you.
Oh yeah. I think we had talked about like they want to like set up a show
And then they were
somewhere.
talking
About that money.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
But sometimes I have a hard time telling, like, because it's like with how like sometimes women can be like, oh, I didn't know the guy was interested in me. Like I thought he was just nice.
Yeah.
And like
Like you clearly said, I'm seeing a girl like on stage, and then they still come up.
Oh,
to
that
you
doesn't stop them. To be honest,
sure.
to be honest, and I did a bunch of like really like bits about my relationship last night that I don't normally do.
Right.
And like I feel like even when I go even harder into it, like people will come up to me after. Like it almost makes them like more thirsty. It's like,
I mean, there's a thing where unavailable men are more attractive to women.
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
the whole hard to get.
And if they got someone, then you're only competing with one person against the rest of the world.
Right.
Yeah, I
Say
mean,
that one more time.
You're only competing with one person?
If someone's in a relationship, you're only competing with one person.
Yeah.
versus if they're
Versus the
single.
rest of the world. Oh
Funny.
wow, that's a good theory.
Funny.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Wow, that's deep.
You know?
Yeah.
Just because there's a goalie doesn't
Yeah.
mean you can't score. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
This is terrible. We don't condone
Okay, I like that.
polygamy personally.
Well,
I
if
am
you
a
were the
monogamous. If you were a goalie, you wouldn't score. If I was a goalie, you wouldn't score. I'm up I used to be a
PKs
goalie.
all day.
Okay.
But also, I would beat the shit out of someone if they tried to take my girl. You know.
Yeah, of course.
That's the only time one time in my life have I lost my mind in rage.
Yeah.
I'm very calm usually.
Yeah.
But that one time was like in the 7th grade. and someone called my at the time girlfriend Shakamuta,
No shit.
bro, and he was always rude to her and to me,
Yeah.
and that was just the final straw, dude. And I'm like, what did he call?
You beat him up?
Yeah, yeah.
And I just ran to him with a rage I've never, felt to this day. I've never.
Yeah.
I was just gonna take his head off, but my friends ended up grabbing me, and it's like not the one who was like, "Let me go." It's like I was elbowing motherfuckers in the face.
Wow.
Another guy comes up who's like my friend, but who's kind of his friend more.
Yeah.
And I took the opportunity to give him a little elbow in
Man.
the face too. But besides
To
that,
make Jesus angry.
the hair came later. The hair,
Yeah, what did you look like?
That's the only
what I
thing,
would-
bro. Defending the woman in your life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I get it.
It's something you talked about at your show yesterday about your sister used to dress you up
Yeah.
as a girl.
Yeah, my
So, like,
sister
like a
did all
drag-
sorts of bullyish things. To me.
Drag queen, or
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
said, drag
Yeah.
Drag
princess.
yeah.
And then you transitioned from math to comedy.
Yeah.
But no, like
I want to
going
hear
back
more
to
about the sister dynamic.
Yeah, 'cause-
like,
I think
So you're for trans rights.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
oh, I see what you're doing.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no. That's pretty much where we're going because you were pretty outspoken about certain things that, like in Arab culture, it seems like a lot of conservative views. So
Yeah.
when somebody's pro something,
Right.
that's like pro trans rights.
Right.
It's there's more of a spotlight on that. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, I see coming. My family's progressive. Like, like not only the Lebanese influence. Like the Lebanese influence is going to give you the most progressive leg up.
Yeah.
For an Arab family. And then my dad came here, but they were like very hippie-ish when they had me and stuff. So that my family is like very far left. But even on like certain things like trans stuff and they're not like homophobic or anything. Like, we have gay people in our family and stuff like that, but they're boomers. They're still boomers. They're not like Gen Z, like abolish gender, they're not like that kind of left.
Right.
So like I've never felt like the pressure of conservative culture on me in any way from my family. With the exception of maybe spending some time with my grandparents, but my grandparents were also like really just cool with me saying, doing whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'm growing up in the Bay Area, like, you have a lot of people who identify differently. And I went to Berkeley where you learn, see all of the language that we use, like when it comes to gender and like race and, wokeness, if you will, which is kind of a newer term. It all came from UC Berkeley. Right. It all came from that kind of hub of culture.
Interesting.
So I learned I learned the shit in my first semester, and
And the Bay Area is a huge, like
Yeah.
San Francisco area.
Yeah.
About the whole community.
Right.
Have you had
America.
an argument like
They're like the
have
most
you had
liberal.
people argue with you about that, like online or
Oh,
in
yeah.
person?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean-
what are the talking points? I think, or what is your defense, and what
Well-
have you heard people?
Well, the
say?
main thing right now is that a lot of people are upset and they think that, LGBT, or they feel that like LGBTQ is like,
Affecting the kids.
yeah, they're affecting the kids, and then they're using like that, their whole movement to stop people from saying things.
Or
And the thing is, I
you said
understand where
grooming
they're
too,
coming
yeah.
from. Like, I don't think that's insane. I think it's perfectly rational for people to be concerned about their children and for people to, not think it's fair to be using identity to affect how other people think and feel.
And take away control from the parents, right?
Right.
Aren't there some laws that are being passed that a parent cannot interfere in a child's decision to essentially take puberty blockers and this type of thing?
Yeah, and this whole thing's tricky, and this is one of those things where I'm just like, I'm glad I'm not a fucking parent right now, because I wouldn't want to like deal with this.
I mean, I should be able to tell my child what to do. He's my child.
Yeah, I personally,
that's controversial, right?
that's
there.
controversial. I
What do you mean
personally,
it's controversial? It's my
I personally
kid.
think that like. America needs to either agree that we have complete jurisdiction over our children, or we don't. Of
course.
And if we don't, we don't.
I mean,
it's the fucking
do
law.
we in every other facet?
Yes.
Besides,
in terms of morality, if I had a kid right now, which I don't, and I don't want a kid right now, but if I had a kid right now, and let's say at like 13 years of age, they identified as trans or gay, I would embrace that. I wouldn't be like, yes, you are that. I would just be like, cool. Like, let's
hear
talk
you.
about
I hear
why you feel that way. And I would not let them do like gender altering stuff,
Drugs.
because I don't believe in drugs. I mean, like, aside from recreationally, I don't believe in like biologically altering yourself outside of gender. So like, to me, it's like, yes, if you feel that way and you feel you want to be that way and you want to change yourself, that's your prerogative. And even if you're a minor, that's between you and your parent. It has nothing to do with me. I don't give a shit. If you're my child, I would advise you not to do it because I don't believe in that stuff.
I'm not walking out during this section. I'm going to the bathroom. So don't take it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No, and I should have, and I feel like as a parent, again, I'm not one.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what, it'd be interesting to me in what other areas are parents not allowed to affect their children's treatment.
Right. I mean, and I think every parent has the right to their own preferences on that. But like end of the day, there's law, there's parenting, and then there's what you feel is right. But this is like one of the things I thank God I'm not a parent right now.
Yeah.
But I also to just to say like people's anger and people's frustration with this whole thing, like a lot of people don't actually know any trans people, and so they don't know that like there's actually people who are born and don't feel like they're like they belong in that body, or they feel like that, and that's a real thing.
Tough thing. Yeah.
It's been proven biologically, and when you know enough people who feel that way, you get it. Yeah. You sympathize with them.
Yeah. And I want to say that again, like it's been proven biologically, and
what has exactly?
That like there's genes associated with being gay, first of all, or you know possibly being transgender or feeling like you identify as a different. I mean, and it makes perfect sense.
Is that like a unnatural balance? Like if we say the natural balance is for males to have majority testosterone, less estrogen, there could be cases where some males have more estrogen than testosterone.
Absolutely, and I mean, and this goes back historically, like in indigenous cultures, they have two spirits, you know, and I mean, people talk about like thinking about the Roman Empire. And it's like just look at ancient Greece, like everybody was gay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they were little boys, dude. Like and that was like normal. And I don't think
not a good thing.
I don't think we should do that. Yeah. I'm just saying like to act like this came out of nowhere is insane. Like this has been around. Yeah. It's just that we're looking at it differently now. Yeah. And it has become somewhat adopted and indoctrinated with the youth because it is. I guess if I had to voice a concern, it would just be like, don't identify as something just to be cool. Yeah. Like just, you know, and if you do, fine, explore it. Like, you know, figure out who you are. That's what life is about. Right. But just be careful about altering your body because you may not be able to make those changes back. Right. You know, that's what I would say.
And that's where it can get tricky because it's like children are notoriously not very rational and dependable. And so it's like knowing how to differentiate between those true feelings where it comes from a natural imbalance and a feeling of like, I just feel like I want to do this. Right. And it's something that's a phase that might pass. And other times it's not. So it's like, it's a challenge, obviously, for people to differentiate.
Yeah, totally.
It's just tough because, like, you know, if you tell somebody to, like, wait, for example, like, and they have to suffer until they're 18 or 20, let's say 25, the brain doesn't, you know, stop developing or maturing until 25, for example. So it's like, okay, let's make a law where you can't do gender altering stuff until then.
Can't you just go back?
You can't.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like you would say that, and then they suffer, and then let's say they can't take it anymore, and they kill themselves. Like they're suicidal, and it's happened over and over and over. So where do you say like, okay, you're ready to make these decisions?
18.
That's and this is like a thing where it's like I'm glad I'm not a parent because let's say I had a kid who was 16 years old and is like if I can't take these gender altering things I'm gonna kill myself. Like what the fuck do you do?
I mean, let them take them. Admit them into mental health.
Well, I mean, let them take them, but like also like why are you suicidal? Right. Like this is life. Like you know, I mean, I get it. You identify as something. You can be that thing. Like, I mean, what?
Yeah. Why do you have to go under the knife?
Yeah,
and surgery in general, man. I'm not.
And I know some people would probably even take that as like transphobic. Like, I don't believe in that shit in general. I wouldn't believe in that for anybody. So it's like to me, it's just like. You need that to not be suicidal. Like if something you feel a certain way, that's awesome. Embrace who you are, learn who you are. But if you need to alter your body, like with surgery or with like hormones or drugs to not kill yourself, surgery. Like I don't know if the issue is that your gender is the most important thing. I think it's just your mental well-being.
I'd be underlying.
It's like, it's like get mentally good. And then if you still feel that way, then fucking
mental
great.
Health is very important.
Yeah.
And have you heard of Fusi Tube?
What is it?
Fusi?
Yeah.
Fusi Tube. You know Fusi Tube?
Yusuf Agha.
They put him in a mental facility.
Oh, okay.
And because he was like bipolar episodes or something. So
He's like the Arab
Arab Kanye.
influencer Kanye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically, because he was the first to do it too. He was one
Okay.
of the
He's
first
been there for a long
YouTubers.
time.
Really? Okay. No,
from the
I-
dawn of YouTube, basically.
Oh, I feel like I've heard that name. I never.
Because he just like got big now. Like he's been streaming for 24 hours.
Oh shit.
Straight.
And
Pussy too.
you know, you see
Constantly.
everything.
Well, he got arrested
Wait, why?
for what?
Oh,
5150.
mental health check.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
But like mental health is not addressed in the Arab community. I feel like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
He's the one that started like the dressing like his mom and showing like how my Arab moms be like, and then doing the skits with,
Yeah.
with
Those
his mom.
Shahata or something like
Yeah,
sniper.
He was the originator of those videos.
Have you seen the MTV Cribs, the Arab one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's called
next.
MTV Cribs.
MTZ Cribs.
You take off the shoes. Mama, why you hit me with the shahata? Like, bro, it's a classic in Dearborn, where I'm from.
Did you guys do shoes off in the house or your shoes on?
How progressive
Early-
were you?
Yeah, early on we did shoes on. I mean, like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was
Damn.
is it more
Same.
recently that we did. It's almost like we became more Arab as time went on.
See, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's an
back to
Arab
the
thing to
roots.
keep the shoes on or to take them off. Because I grew up, it was a lot of tile, cold tile,
Right,
and
right,
Jordan,
right.
so we kept the shoes
I
on.
found
Arabs are pretty
the
fluid
perfect
with
solution.
It, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You walk in, right? Mini bidet at the front door
For your feet.
for your feet.
For your feet.
For the shoes.
Foot bidet.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
for your
yeah.
shoes.
That's funny.
Okay. Hey, I like that.
Keep
Yeah,
no.
keep spitballing. Keep spitballing. We'll get there. We'll get one.
Get
He's
to
just
the
he's
bad ones.
obsessed with the bidet. So yeah.
I mean, you got to have a bidet in your bathroom.
I don't have one.
No.
But I mean, they're great.
Are you pro bidet?
I don't need a bidet to do what a bidet does.
Interesting.
I'm a fucking
You
bathtub.
got the watering
Yeah.
plant?
What's that?
You got the watering vase?
I don't use the no. I use a bath faucet.
Bringing it
okay,
back.
okay. But you got to go into the bath every time?
Did we talk about when there's no
in the
electricity in
back.
Lebanon?
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah,
Jeez,
no, my asshole is clean, man.
Yeah, I'm not about
Clean
it.
as fuck.
You heard it here first, guys.
I don't feel comfortable without a clean asshole. Of
course.
Like that's why I
TMZ
value
be
the
like-
power of a bidet. But you don't. If you just have a sink, yeah, you're fucked. But
Yeah.
if you have a bath faucet, it
Then
can
you're
do the
good.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just in Jordan, the bidets are different. It's not like an attachment to the toilet. It's a whole other seat.
Right.
But
right.
how
can
long is
sit
too
on.
long to use it before it's like, why are you doing that for that long?
How long is it too long
To
to
use the bidet or to use the bath.
bath?
To use the bidet.
Like how long do I wait before I use
It's
it?
like when they say like if you're wipe or like shake it too many times, you're playing with it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Like
Just sitting on there.
if you're sitting on a bidet
I've
for
been
too
spending
long,
hours in the bath.
just
Me
letting
time.
it, letting it just do his thing.
That's
But-
We were talking about you were talking about AI in your show yesterday too, and we were gonna do this thing where we like we see if AI can make you laugh.
okay.
Well, before we get like, have you experimented with AI at all for in the joke sphere or like the?
Good old GPT.
Yeah, there's like some shows where like they have comics who will like tell GPT jokes. I've done that a few times.
Okay. Any good ones or no? Not really.
No, it's not good yet.
It's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not there yet. It's working on it. Yeah, getting better in the last whatever year it's been. It's been getting better.
Yeah.
You think
Can I tell you one?
Sure.
What do you call a muscular Arab?
What?
A protein shake.
Oh, okay.
guy right there.
Yeah.
Was that made by AI or is that just on the internet?
I don't know. I just googled it. Honestly, it might
not
just be
bad.
Google. What? This is another one. This is not my jokes. I just googled them. Why don't Muslim women need insurance?
Why don't Muslim women need insurance? Why?
Because they're already covered.
Oh, wow. Do the ChatGPT?
No,
way, dude.
I just googled
No
Arab
way.
jokes.
Okay.
But,
That was too good for
See,
for
that's
GPT.
the thing. That ChatGPT
That's
is
puns.
too.
But there's no way like AI could make like the Clopin jokes that you or
Right.
that, for example, you made, and it reminded me like, do you like what's your take on relationships and like open relationships and closed relationships and stuff?
Well,
like,
I've actually I keep evolving on this issue
Yeah.
because like a year ago I didn't like necessarily know if I believed in monogamy or if I believed that it works for most people.
yeah, because you seem pretty scientific and like you know, there's a lot of documentaries
Right.
claiming they've proved why monogamy would work or why it doesn't work.
Right.
So like, yeah, what are your?
I think end of the
thoughts
day
on
it's just a choice to make it work because
Right.
you value that and you want to commit to that and you want the benefits of that versus being tempted on the other side. That said, I mean, humans are designed in every which way to have things that defy monogamy, both men and women.
Yeah, because you're like every day defying human nature when you're in a monogamous relationship, kind of.
And people say it's just men. No, it's women too. Women, we're 100% wired to fuck around, but it's a choice.
Yeah. And then my background's in psychology, and like, you know, they, the main thing they say in terms of men are number one on the hierarchy is appearance and what they're attracted to, and women are they want stability. So, you know, that's why, you know, gold diggers and all that stuff exists, because they would rather be with the guy who's less attractive but is financially stable than, you know, somebody who's more attractive that's a bum, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's why I've been focusing on my stability this whole time.
Aren't we all?
Financial
Stability, yeah.
So on the note of relationships, ChatGPT, I just asked them to give us a joke in Dave Chappelle's voice,
Okay.
and it gave me a few. And the last one,
You're ruining my algorithm here, bro.
yeah,
Say it.
it's not that funny. Man, you ever notice how they put expiration dates on food? Like, what's next? They're gonna put expiration dates on relationships? Sorry, honey, our love is expired. Time to move on to the next aisle of life.
It's just corny.
so
yeah.
bad.
ChatGPT seen Dave Chappelle?
I don't know.
He wouldn't say that.
The first one,
What's up with
the
it?
first one was more interesting. I was walking down the street the other day, and I saw a sign that said "Watch for Children," and I thought that sounds like a fair trade. I'll watch your kids for a while if you watch my Netflix special. I thought it was gonna say like give you a watch
For the children.
my children. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Have
not
you-
good. It's not
Speaking-
good.
It's bad, yeah.
Have you ever had someone steal one of your jokes?
Well, there's
Carlos Mencina. What is the guy's name?
yeah.
Joe Rogan.
There was a guy who, I mean, first of all, a couple times, but like you couldn't prove it. Like sometimes it's hard to prove. Sometimes it's just a hunch. Sometimes it's coincidence. Sometimes there's been times for sure where I'm like, did that person steal my joke? But they probably didn't. And there's been times where I'm like, I think that person stole my joke, and they for sure did. There was a kid who I had this bear joke that had already like gone viral a few times, and he did the exact same joke like word for word a couple years later, and it was like one of those things where it was like the joke was my friend's an environmentalist. He's always complaining about the polar bears.
Oh, just some. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
friends.
it's on Instagram. You
It's
can check
already
it out.
recorded, my guy. Like,
It's
this
a
is
joke.
podcast.
Slow down. Slow down.
Jokeception
There's a polar
here.
bear. What
Yeah.
happened with the polar bear?
So meta of you.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
it's a
I'm not
bear.
serious.
You're not finished with the joke?
Polar bears are cool, man.
Yeah.
We'll put the joke in post.
Yeah, just dub. Yeah, but live version's better.
What else? Tell us, what do you think of the writer's strike that's been going on, man? Like the resolution.
Just ended.
Man, I have two feelings about it.
Okay.
Number one, it's fucking sad that like, dude, writers work so hard. They keep entertainment afloat, and they're just getting treated like shit. It's sad. And even after the outcome, it's not gonna like the big corporations are gonna win.
Oh, you think
It's
so?
not, oh yeah. The writers will get a little bit more to keep them afloat, but the big corporations will always win.
Do you know what the deal that they struck, like what it entailed at all? Or
No, I don't know the I don't know what the deal
5%,
is.
like a
but it's
5% raise or
not gonna be
something.
groundbreaking. Honey, what do you think? Oh my God, now I can finally like have a family. You know,
okay, I thought it was pretty good.
I'm sure it's better than nothing.
But still,
Yeah.
you're saying the corporation wins at the end.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So that's my first feeling. It's fucked up. It's sad. And then my second feeling is thank God that I didn't get into that game because I. And I mean, this could have been my mistake. Who knows? I could have chose to be a writer and ended up climbing my way up and getting my own show and shit like that. But I just something about writing for other people and it's the way that writers are treated. I was always just never like rubbed me the right way.
Yeah.
It's just that you're writing for somebody else's voice. You're not in the spotlight.
Right.
Your ideas are secondary to the head writers.
Yeah.
You're not the head writer. Shut the fuck up. Just pitch. Keep your head down. And like, I'm like, dude, but that's the antithesis of like, not the persona that I'm trying to have in comedy, but like the confidence that I'm trying to have on stage. Like, how am I supposed to go on stage with like it's me confidence while I go to work every day and just be treated like a an open micer,
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
so I never liked that vibe, and everything is about sucking it up, but I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then when this happened, I'm just like, see, like it's just I've not been financially affected by the strike because I've just been touring.
Yeah.
So while I sympathize with all my friends who went through it and like it sucks and it's sad, it's just kind of like, damn, I kind of like dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
You created something for yourself that you don't have to depend on
Right.
the system and stuff
And I
like
didn't
that.
want it as much. I have friends who are like, I want to be a writer. I want to write for late night. I want to write for a show. And like, that's what they wanted. I never wanted that. So it's like that, it just didn't make sense for me.
You're like the entrepreneur. You took the entrepreneurial route in a sense where you took ownership of your material and you presented it by yourself.
Yeah, and part of it is just the nature of the things I talk about. Like I could write like a math joke for somebody, but they wouldn't be able to like tell it correctly.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
7, 8, 9.
All right. Look at you guys. Damn.
Our math jokes are way below the level of
That's some
yours.
advanced shit right there.
Like going back to what you said in the beginning, you said that you created the tour basically, or you're pretty much your own.
I book
manager.
everything. I'm my own agent, my own manager.
Ooh,
You
100%? 100%, boys?
You're
100%,
making.
I like that. I'm with you on
more-
that.
Oh, sorry.
more, you're making more than most, I guess, in terms of like percentages.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
yeah.
I'm making the biggest percentage in the whole
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
the biggest,
Yeah,
the biggest
same.
on 100. Yeah.
So, so you're more in control of that versus like, but like,
Yes.
what's the in terms of like when you had a special on Netflix?
Yeah, didn't you have?
I never special.
Well,
I
he's
had
a TV show.
Or a TV show, the
but
payment
don't you have
structure.
residuals?
I had a manager back then. My manager dropped me at the beginning of the pandemic. And then I
his law.
started
Look
working
at me
with-
now.
I know. And then I started working with a new manager, and that didn't work out. And then so I just been solo. I have an agent who books me for colleges only, but I don't do a lot of colleges. So everything I do myself.
Okay. Wow.
But
Are
the
you thinking
groupies.
of? Are you thinking of? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, on one hand, it's like, oh, it's fucking stupid. You're just like spending. I'm learning a lot by doing this. Like I'm brokering my own deals. I'm not putting up with shit deals.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know, like, hey, if you don't give me a good deal, I'll go to another fucking place.
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't want an agent right now is because I like to choose my own schedule. Agents traditionally do not give a fuck about your schedule.
Really?
They want to
Make
get you the
money.
most gigs, make the most money, and that's from their point of view. I get it.
Yeah.
And if you're not like their biggest client, you don't have the right or the power to basically, hey, I don't want to do like
Right.
3 weekends in a row all over the fucking country.
Wow.
So I would rather do the extra labor myself and be able to take a week off here and there and have fucking mental health.
Sure.
And choose and route things logically. Because, I'm sure you look at my schedule and like it seems like I'm jumping around a lot, but I'm not.
does.
Like I'm actually like, I'll go to one region, I'll spend a week there, I'll hit like 7 gigs very efficiently back to back. I booked them all myself. I'll go back home for another week, regroup, hit the road
Okay.
again a week later.
Interesting.
So whereas like, an agent might just put you all over the
to back
fucking
to back
country, just
everywhere,
flight, hop on at 6 a.m.
Right.
Fuck that. No, I want to like, I've been in this game long enough to realize how important your physical and mental health is to your longevity.
Yeah.
If you want to do this shit for long and not crash and not go fucking
It's
crazy.
an endurance
out.
game, 100%.
Yeah, because you can blow up. I know a lot of great comedians who blew the fuck up, and then they weren't ready for the tour life. They were now everywhere, and it killed them. They would just be like, I'm tired. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I don't feel creative anymore.
Right.
And it's just like, dude, I don't want that. I've been through elements of that, so I'm like, no, I'm going to choose my own schedule. I'm going to make it my own game, and eventually, I will outsource this labor to a competent
India.
person to India, exactly, India or like a VA in the Philippines or something like that.
No.
Basically,
I'm surprised you haven't done that yet.
No, I'm on the verge of doing something like that. But because basically, like, I don't need an agent. I need an assistant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, I
100%.
just hired someone in Pakistan actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah, his
There you
name's
go.
Habibi.
Yeah, I'm working
There
on
you go,
getting an
baby.
editor.
For my land.
What are they
somewhere.
doing?
For my land business, they're just they used to work with
Assistant.
this investor I used to work with, and he was his VA, and then
Yeah.
the dude got out of the game, but I ended up training the guy a lot. So very sharp guy. He's a computer programmer, so he's like high level guy, but he
Awesome.
$200 to them apparently per like every couple weeks is like a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. No, of course. And it's good. It's good work. They
Yeah.
do good work.
Yeah.
And you like reach out to the venues.
That's what I was about to
yourself?
say.
Yeah.
Do
I
they
reach
re-
out to the venues myself. I do the back and forth with talking the deal with them myself. I do all the promo myself. And I'm new to this like touring stuff. So I have to like work really hard to get people to come to shows. I don't just post a show and then it's packed.
Right.
I DM people.
Really?
Yeah, I DM people. I comment back to
Boots
people.
on the ground.
I do interactive things. I go live. Bro, you wouldn't have come
Yeah,
to the
we
show
know.
if I hadn't gone
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know
I
what
noticed
mean?
Right.
you like
Yeah.
even asking like within your show, it's like, what reel did you see?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
figure
It's
it
all
out.
analytics.
Yeah, that's
And
true. It's
I
all
didn't-
math.
You know, and last night I didn't even really do a lot of like the show before. I get people who join my text list. I let them know, hey, I'll be back, and all sorts of things.
Smart.
So I've been wearing the business hat like nonstop this year, and
Yeah.
it wasn't until recently because there was like a period of like 5 months where my creative just fell because I was just doing all the business stuff.
Yeah.
And I finally like kind of got my groove back. It's like
Right.
now I'm able to like switch back and
Yeah.
forth between the two.
Yeah.
So it's been a year of learning how to do that.
And I was gonna say too, because you're saying about your mental health. Stand up is all about you, your vibe, your personality, your demeanor. So I'm sure it bleeds into your performance more than other areas if you're not stable,
Totally.
happy.
You can, I mean, stand-ups, we can mask it for sure, but it will seep through eventually.
Yeah.
It'll seep through eventually in the material you write. It'll seep through eventually. You might just have a performance where you break down one night.
Right.
It'll seep through eventually, but we are trained to have a game face if it's just a kind of a one thing that we're going through, we can get over it quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you had that show in Detroit once. How was that?
I did Detroit in March. It was great.
Yeah.
It sold out. I did like a
I
collaboration
posted, I
post with
posted on my
Dearborn.
story.
Bro, that was it.
I told Dearborn what's up.
Bro,
I
one-
said, come
one
through.
post.
The mayor of Dearborn. Mayor of
I know the
Dearborn.
mayor of Dearborn. Shout out my boy.
You try to connect
Is
with
he
the
Arab?
mayor, dude.
Yeah. He's
is?
Lebanese. He's the
Nice.
first Arab mayor. I think.
I DM'd him. He didn't respond. But,
Oh yeah, same. But I know the halal food junkie, the guy that does all the food,
He's
food
the,
reviews.
he's the second in command.
He's
Right?
the second in command for sure.
Dearborn. Yeah.
Dearborn's cool. Did you
No,
enjoy
it's
it?
great. Yeah, no, it was a great show, man. I mean, Dearborn turned up, bro. It was like
Yeah, they don't see.
it was like 90% Arab crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you know that, you like tailor make it.
Oh,
to the-
100%, 100%.
Like inside jokes and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I was asking you yesterday because you were kind of riffing a lot with the crowd. I was
Yeah.
like, do you have a set? And
Well,
you
he
were
said that the
saying-
6 p.m. one. Was
No,
that.
yeah, the 6 p.m. one.
Yeah.
Basically, the 6 p.m. set was easy to design because I was like, I need to do the bangers that I've written since I was last here.
Yeah.
And so I did that.
Okay.
And then the second show, I was like, I'm going to do a few of those bangers, and I'm going to do a couple of the ones that I'm working on, and some,
Yeah.
a little raunchier stuff because it's
Yeah.
late, like early show vibe, give them the clean fun.
Right.
Late show vibe, give them some raunchier
They've been
stuff.
drinking and
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at what point, if any, do you develop like a special set where you're just like spitting it A to Z, or is
Like
is
exact,
that not your style?
like exact.
Like
Do you do like the hour, like, and then I
was
want to
doing
put
that.
it out?
So I was doing that earlier this
know,
year. So
how they used to
basically, every comedian starts that way.
Yeah.
In most shape or form, you only have so much material. So and then at some point, like I evolved to hate that. I evolved to be like, I just want to do every chance I get, do some different shit.
Really?
And so then I became writing every day, and every time I want to do a set that was different, I would still work on jokes, but then I would just like move on to the next shit fast. And then I realized, fuck, man, I have these really good ideas that never got finished, and so I need to finish them. So then, like last year, I started doing a little bit of both, and like I'm going to refine these jokes, but I'm going to keep also fresh stuff coming. And then this year, I started touring, and so I wanted to give people a banger hour to make them want me to come back. And so for the first maybe 8 months of this year, I was working pretty much the same hour. And while the hour got very tight, I wasn't having fun. Like I was just like, I just like kind of like the old way.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn how to remedy that because I wrote this cohesive hour, and like I don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But there's bits of it that I do want to use for other stuff.
But would you put that hour out as an hour?
I could.
Are you thinking
I
about
could.
that?
I was also like just in this place where it's like I did 2 YouTube specials already.
Oh, okay.
They did fine. They did fine. Yeah. Martyr in a Safe Space.
And then the second one,
Organic.
Organic.
Was the first one, and then Martyr in a Safe Space was the second.
How do you choose which venue to like record?
Well, those first 2 I did at the same venue. This place called the San Francisco Punchline, which is like a home club of mine. Just because I had that back then it was one of the only cities I could pack out. So it was more just like I can get a good crowd, and I know people there to film it. So let's just do that. Whereas now, I could film some stuff elsewhere. I could film a special in Salt Lake City.
Or
Shout
Detroit
out
or something.
Or
Utah.
Detroit. Yeah.
You know what you're saying about like not wanting to do the same material kind of mirrors like what musicians might go through in the sense that they have to perform their hits every time. Like 50 Cent
I can't imagine.
can't go anywhere without performing in the club, but I'm sure it's old as heck to him by now.
Right.
there's
versus
two
doing his
perspectives
new
of that
material
because
that
it's
he-
like, but it also keeps him relevant.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's-
It's like
it's what also
having
pays the
fun.
I mean, you're so
Right.
quick with the jokes too, like the Hassan Minhaj stuff, like that just happened, and
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had to
we should
reference
get
it because
into that.
people have been
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
people keep asking me what I think about it.
what do you
and
think
it's just-
about it?
I mean, it's just like,
Okay, people.
yeah. And honestly, I mean, my take is that like, dude, the journalist went too hard on him. Like it was.
Wait, what
it-
happened? I don't even know what.
Oh, you don't even know about that?
He lied or he like exaggerated the truth.
Yeah,
Which, like,
in his
everyone does,
storytelling.
right?
What is that?
Yeah, but it's like every comic does that, but he was doing it in the form of storytelling. And yes, he embellished on the parts that kind of made him look like a victim. But if you know Hassan and you know anybody who, like, any brown person who lived, you know, in that era or like in Davis, California, like the thing is, people were like saying, like he said, yeah, those things weren't true, but they were emotional truths. And people were like, oh, that's ridiculous. Like you lied. But it's like, no, he's saying like he did feel that way about like
Like, was it racism?
yeah, just the fact that for years people couldn't even tell the difference between me and him. Like people would call him
You're
me.
talking
People,
about you specifically?
no.
got it.
I'm just giving you an example. Like, because the joke I made last night, it did well in the first show. It didn't do well in the second show because like this one guy saw one of my tour flyers and he saw my face and he's like, "Hey, you're the guy who lied about white people being racist." I'm like, "No, that was another brown comedian." You know, it's just like the irony
of it,
that happened to me like 4 times this week. I'm like, dude, I'm not out there saying white people are racist, but it's like, dude, just like suck it up. Like this shit does happen. You know what I mean? And yes, I personally wouldn't embellish that much like in a story, but like the journalist went hard on him. It just felt more of like a hit piece.
Jesse
I mean, he made a lot of enemies. Netflix, like he would go after people. So I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. That
Could be. Yeah. I mean,
But that's
and-
his whole thing. That's
Yeah,
him.
I don't know. I don't know if he pissed someone off or it was like a hit job. And he was up in the
his
running for
job?
the Daily Show.
yeah. So you think
Was
that's
it his job?
it was a his job.
You're the pun master. Like so I had to throw one in there.
It sounds kind of like a Jesse Smollett type esque situation. Maybe.
Ooh, he got
You're rocking
Juicy
a
Smollett.
right now.
Yeah, I heard people making that. I mean, it's like
I don't know
know.
what happened. This is coming from someone that hasn't heard anything.
No, I mean Hassan's he's a good person. I think it's a good thing to happen to him because people can get canceled for like legit reasons, like
Right.
assault, like legit saying something racist or homophobic.
Yeah.
Hassan just got some flack for embellishing his stories. Like this is as easy as you can get off in the famous person getting slapped on the wrist.
Yeah.
So and if anything, it'll challenge him to like stick a little bit more to the reality in the stories, which I think every comedian and storyteller must eventually learn. The truth, the nuances of the truth will always be funnier than the lie.
100%.
And we have to continuously learn this.
Yeah.
And it just forces you to become a better writer. And
Right.
And I lie all the time in my jokes, but like when I write a joke that's completely honest, it's always the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's always that's another question of whether you write things that happen in your real life
Right.
or you kind of like as a stand-up. You
Right.
do other stuff. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like he got off a lot easier than.
You think he's still gonna be
than Louis C.K. did?
Is he gonna?
He definitely didn't do his.
He didn't do anything that's crazy.
And the funny thing about the Hudson thing too is like if you look at like there's like videos floating around like talking shit about him, and then you have people in the comments defend. You have like anti-woke people defending him in the comments, like people who aren't even his base. Like it's comedy, you fucking idiots,
Yeah.
And it's like so it's like you have all these sides. You have people who are like, well, he said white people are racist, and then some people are like, no, it's fucking comedy, you fucking morons. So it's like, dude, it's always cancellations are always some form of noise, depending on how severe they are. Of course, this is more just noise.
Yeah.
Like his true fans are going to stick with him.
Right.
This may like alter the trajectory of him, but it's not the end of the world by any means.
Yeah.
What do you think about Aziz Ansari?
Aziz Ansari, that guy.
You haven't heard that name in a minute.
That guy, depending on how like really depicted that story was that was written up on him, like I don't, because I don't know, I wasn't there. I read the story. It did sound like kind of sleazy, like he just was clearly like using his fame to like, I guess, put his penis in a girl's face or something like that.
He did that?
That's what she said in the story. Yeah, and so if that's true, like
allegation.
fucking, he kind of got what he deserved. He was just being too cocky. Like, dude,
Literally,
like
right?
Yeah, literally too cocky. Exactly. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter how famous you get. Fucking read the room, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just get a woman's consent. How fucking hard is it to just get her consent?
It's not hard.
It's not hard.
But he was.
He was.
Right.
Yes. So
Maybe.
so So yeah, so it's like kind of like funny to me on that time. Like that guy, he was on top of the world, man. He had he had like a killer Netflix. Everybody loved his
I didn't know
Netflix
I
show.
love
He
that.
got
That
canceled.
season 1 was so good.
Yeah.
I rewatch it all the time.
And then one night he just said, "So you're gonna suck my dick or what?" And he just fucking ruined his career.
Literally Bill Clinton, the whole situation. That's crazy.
But it's like, dude, you get what you deserve, man.
Yeah.
But if that's not exactly what happened, then poor him. But if it is what happened, well, dude, like, I mean, it sucks that you had to pay that much for it. It means he's still doing fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Louis C.K.
Yeah.
almost, right? It sounds like whatever happened with
Louis, I mean, and Louis is the thing where it's like Louis he's such a genius comedically
Such a
that
genius.
it's so hard to.
This is like the third episode Louis C.K.
We've talked
has
about
been on.
Louis.
Yeah,
Come
but
up.
he's such a genius.
It's like he's such a comedic genius that you want to be like, oh, come on, just
Yeah.
get over him jacking off in front of people. He's a genius, but at the same time, he needs to be held accountable for that shit too.
where do you draw the
he was
line,
bringing
you
women
know?
on the road and asking them, "Does my dick look weird?" Like, dude, no, just get their fucking consent. Doesn't matter
You
how
have
rich
to.
and how
You have
smart
to.
you are.
You
Get
have
their
to.
fucking consent.
not
You
an
being a
option.
great comedic writer doesn't mean you get to
Doesn't
wave your dick in
excuse.
someone's face. And if you have to learn the hard way, you learn the hard way.
Right.
But he is
He is a
that
comedic
good that
genius.
now it doesn't matter as much to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I will not outwardly be like, I'm Louis. Yeah, fuck you, people. I'm
Right,
Louis. I will
right.
never say that
Yeah, yeah.
because he did get what he deserved. But I will agree, he's a comedic genius.
It's the whole thing of
Yeah.
separating the artist from the art.
I mean,
If
it's
got
like
to,
whether
man.
you
Bill
can-
Cosby.
Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. Got a whole list.
MJ,
Mount
MJ.
Rushmore.
The Mount Rushmore of Idol.
Aziz Ansari.
I like their music, but I don't like them as a person. Chris Brown, I mean,
That one's
Oh, Chris Brown.
You guys
Man,
know-
when Run It comes on.
Yeah, man.
shit.
fucking right.
you know he has a song called Beat It. Beat, beat, beat it.
Michael Jackson.
No, Chris Brown does.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
So-
out of all the songs you would ever make, why would you copy those two exact words? Like it would never be as big as Michael Jackson's.
course.
But you did mention something. You said you're getting back in your groove and stuff. And I feel like
Yeah.
one of the highlights of your show yesterday was when you just went in on Biden and like the whole political sphere.
Yeah.
So that was probably my favorite part of
Thanks.
yesterday.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I
so,
mean, yeah, I just figured it was, you know,
Yeah.
if anyways, it's
like the two most hated. What did you say?
Yeah, I just said like this upcoming election, the front runners are the two most hated people in America, and they are. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of people who love, like nobody loves Biden. People love Trump, but a lot of people hate Trump, and a lot of people hate Biden. So that's what they have in common. They're just the two most hated people
Right.
in America. In
And you
American
said
politics.
like they're not voting for Biden. They're just voting for
Not Trump.
Not Trump.
Not Trump.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Biden's so
Yes.
old.
They're both. I mean, Trump is 80 too.
Really old.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Trump's almost there. He's just like a couple years behind him, right? Or is he?
He
actually?
seems
about the
more.
same.
He seems more mentally like coherent.
Oh, for sure. He's more. Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
not all age is equal. Like
Yeah.
Biden's. Yeah, I mean, Biden
Biden's
should
like
not
a-
be.
But then
yeah.
I don't like his judgment either. He's coherent, but his, I
Who, like
personally-
Trump?
Trump. Yeah.
Trump is like a 6-year-old and Biden's like a 2-year-old.
Think about
No, he's like too old.
17. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Trump's a few years behind. So I mean, Trump will be there soon, but he won't be as bad of a shape as Biden when he reaches that age. But like Trump, at some point, I think people are going to realize that Trump, end of the day, is just about himself.
100%.
Like you can say, and I'm open to the argument that like Trump will shake things up and be better for like anti-establishment than any other candidate. I'm
He's
open.
the most established person. Though.
Yeah,
So
but like
that-
he at the end of the day, he'll just do the same shit. He's all about him. So like,
And the people that like him are all about themselves as
Right.
well. So that's why they're voting for him
Right.
for their own benefit.
so I'm open to the argument that maybe he's a means to an end. Like I'm not going to say that like, oh, if Trump becomes president, the world's going to go to shit. I don't know that. I can't
But it
prove
already
that.
happened. So like,
Yeah,
here's the So
Yeah, right. It's
so what
America
I'm saying is,
almost
it was a
direct
means
voters.
to an end because we had to see what we should never do again.
like the other option
Right.
is just so.
But it's just like getting back with your ex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're like, oh,
You're
that was
very
horrible,
orange
and then
ex.
you go to the other extreme, and then you're like, oh fuck, you
Yeah.
know. So I feel like that's
miss-
where America is right now, and I feel like another term with Trump, even if it does like good things temporarily, or like like changes things in a way that people like temporarily, I think end of the day people will just.
the man
discover
is
these-
under like criminal investigation.
Yeah.
He's about like, it's like Netanyahu, and for example, literally was about to go to prison,
Yeah.
and then the whole the government goes to shit, and then he comes back and he's like, I'm prime minister again.
Did you see that
Right.
Trump was
Changes
in?
laws.
Well, that's the-
he loves that stuff. He loves
That's the
show.
beauty. That's the beauty of it right now. It's like the two front runners, like one's threatened by jail, one's threatened by life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You're saying he
So-
might die in his
Yeah,
term.
like that. They're both equally
both, yeah.
threatened by the forces of nature here. You know, but I don't know. I have a feeling that Trump is not the jail thing is gonna not go
Not gonna
over
happen.
because I don't fully know about the case. I'm not fully educated. I honestly don't like care that much about Trump.
Yeah.
Like, but I I feel like they don't actually really have a case on him. It just doesn't feel like they do. They're saying he incited January 6th, right? And they're also talking about classified documents.
I mean, the January 6th stuff.
Well,
was
forget all that. It's
Yeah.
Georgia, specifically where
the ballot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's as bad as you can get.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
it's
in terms of.
yeah.
You could always blame someone else.
It's bad.
Well, they
but
did. They
like,
indicted like 16 people. Or
right,
something.
exactly. I just I don't know if they will effectively trace it to him back to him.
Can't.
I just think it goes back to like why are there only two political parties?
Right.
And they're both imploding basically at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah, which is great.
But like, yeah, exactly.
I'm
So
here
there
for
has
it.
to be some kind of
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
But like, honestly, the most presidential person that I can tell, everyone says it, especially in
Obama.
California, is Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. If he's sometimes he looks like a
Gavin
psychopath.
Newsom. People in California hate Gavin
Nah,
Newsom.
dude. I mean, it's a half and half.
I wish he knew some.
I wish he
know.
knew some.
But I'm saying, like, when you see him like spitting facts against DeSantis and stuff like that, like it's like you see like the
It's
cliche
so weird
president
because
person.
there's elements in all of these candidates that I'm like I actually
he's not
see
even a
some
candidate,
value
you
in
know what
all of these politicians. I
Vivek.
see some value. Oh, was that even Vivek?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek, yeah, dude. I mean, like, no joke. Like, he said some legit good things, but like, he's a clown and he's a liar.
What's a good thing that he said?
Dude, he obviously waffled on it, but he said like we should not be giving this much money to Israel. He's the only presidential candidate who said that, and I don't, and maybe all of time.
He waffled on it though.
He waffled the fuck on
He
it, but the
has to,
fact that he
'cause-
said it, dude,
Yeah.
is bold.
He didn't know the rules yet.
Yeah, he didn't know the rules yet. Yeah.
It's like,
But it just, I mean, it also just is a nice moment and like, yeah, reality check for like how you run it for president.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
brown guy.
What's his name?
yeah.
Bernie was big on like kind of taking a hard stance in some cases.
Yes,
against
but
Israel.
it was a lot softer, and he also waffled. Too.
He also waffled.
Yeah, also
It's crazy,
waffled.
man.
Yeah, all he said was that he agreed that Israel's response in 2014 was disproportionate, and that was a bold thing to say back
Yeah.
then. For just him saying that, he won the Arab
And
vote.
he's a
Yeah.
Jew too.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's Jewish. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy how APAC, how much of a grasp they have on.
Oh, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And
This
that's
episode is sponsored by APAC.
APAC.
And Aramco at the same time.
Aramco.
Yeah. How does that work?
They're talking. They got talks.
Yo, but the whole thing with Trump being not part of like anti-establishment, I kind of question the argument because so traditionally, I mean, the politicians have been like if you want to go speaking of APEC, the
Right.
lobbyists,
Right.
Like the politicians are affected by the lobbyists,
Right.
And the lobbyists are the billionaires and the multinational
Right.
corporations. But the politicians are what makes it look. They kind of sweeten it to the public image, and
Sure.
they, if you want to say they don't do much, they just are the face of
Right.
the interests being
Right.
reflected. With Trump, we're just removing the sugarcoating, the politician. We're just putting the billionaire,
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
multinational corporation in
Exactly.
office. So it's like, is
And
he
he's
anti-establishment,
being pulled by people
or are
behind.
we just removing? Are we just removing the barriers to?
I don't.
to
I
the
see those two things
billionaires?
as different. So like, I 100% agree on that. But like, in terms of anti-establishment, like specifically the Democratic establishment. If Trump wins or any Republican wins, you'll have the dissolution of the Democratic establishment, which has been dominant, obviously, through Biden's term, but also even has some seeds that go back through Obama and all of that stuff. And that's like. My uncle would always describe it as like it's a wolf in a wolf's clothing versus a sheep in a wolf in a sheep's clothing,
Yeah.
right? And that's what the Democrats are. They're wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
Like it's the same. They all support the same shit. Big business, support Israel. It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
And they're all bought and sold. And but they pretend like they're about progressive social rights. And those are ideals that I agree with and believe with, but I don't think that they're actually for it, and I think that they're using those
I
politics.
think
to
the
manipulate
young
the
ones
people.
are. There are ones that
Deep
are.
state?
Some of the young
actually-
ones, some
yeah.
of the young ones are for it. No, for sure. Like there's so many people who are getting into politics who want right, and like they either eventually get corrupted or they stay true and they get out. It's like a hard game.
Isn't
The two-party system.
Rashida? Is it Talib?
Yeah.
Talib.
Yeah, I mean
born.
she's Palestinian, isn't she?
What is?
She's pro-Palestinian.
I know,
She's
I'm
pro-Palestinian. She's
What is she though?
She's Palestinian.
Somali?
She's
Somali?
Palestinian.
Is she
She's
Somali?
Palestinian.
No. There's
Ilhan is
there's
Somali.
three. There's the AOC,
AOC
Rashida
on the
Tlaib.
squad, as they call them.
Yeah.
AOC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
racist in
Ilhan
itself,
And
but-
Rashida. Who's your favorite president ever?
The one on the $100 bill.
Garfield.
Never.
There's never a
I
president.
know.
Garfield. He was a mathematician.
That's a cartoon.
The cat?
The cat, and the
The
president.
mathematician?
The lasagna.
Garfield was a mathematician.
Interesting.
And he was
Makes
the
sense.
shortest, served the shortest term. I think he was president for like 3 weeks.
He like
3
died
months,
in
and
a
then he got
tub or
shot.
something? Oh,
He got
okay.
shot.
Didn't add up for him.
They took out the math guy.
Divided his.
Subtracted him.
Tracked the fuck out of him.
And then Trump divided the nation.
Yep.
Well,
All right. I think. Well, how much? We got any more questions?
We're wrapping it up.
We can wrap it up.
Um,
you have anything you want to ask us?
What keeps you guys motivated?
You mean in this sense or in life?
Money in the cars.
Money's
the
that's cool. Yeah,
clothes.
money.
Motivated, money. I mean, just like striving for something that's like striving for a goal, and then just like taking steps towards that goal. And I feel like the closer you get, the more That's how my motivation gets.
General AF.
Actualization.
Actualization, manifestation,
Space creation,
just
destination.
destination.
Freestyling over here.
Procreation. That everything inspires
To
me.
be more specific, I think what he's trying to say is that like what keeps us motivated is literally this, like what we're doing now. We've gone through it. We have almost quit like 20 times.
No, we have. It's fallen apart a couple times,
Yeah.
but
So
this might be the last episode. No,
every time
I'm
it's
down,
like we
dude.
might as well.
I'm down, man.
It's the last episode. So
Go
like
out with a bang.
it does keep us like even last night when we went out to all the events. But even before we went to the Moroccan lounge and there was other people, other Arabs doing
see
their
a
thing.
community
Basically.
building.
So that's what keeps us motivated. We meet one person and then they're like, oh, I know like 3 people that would love to be on the show. And then, everyone's super like we see it happening right before our eyes that people are excited about what we're doing. And that keeps us motivated.
Yeah,
I
man,
think.
getting to talk to cool people like you,
Yeah.
like going full circle moments where we meet you a year ago and now, you're on the show.
Straight up.
That's definitely motivating.
I mean, seeing you go crazy. I think
Yeah.
motivation is seeing
Yeah.
other people like do their thing.
Right.
Like your consistency and, you're building a fan base and people that really know you. I mean, other people in the industry that are like doing it big makes you feel like you can do it.
So I
in some
motivate you
sense.
guys.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's all I want to
motivation.
get
I mean,
to.
literally,
This is all I
like,
wanna
yeah,
get to.
like you're a testament to people just doing their thing, especially in our community. It's few and far between, but there's a wave happening, and we're just
Absolutely.
trying to be the platform that props it up and
You guys are
allows
doing a
people
fantastic
to.
job. And just from only having been aware of you guys for a year, I really like what you're doing. I like the vibe you're creating. It's unique.
Thank you,
And
man.
each of you brings a unique offering to the table as individuals, and then collectively, it's a great thing, man.
Appreciate
It's a
that.
great thing. So
Nice.
I'm on board. Anything I can do to help.
So
Appreciate that, man. For one last thing on the motivation
course.
is for me.
what motivates you also?
Sex.
What
Very nice.
See, I was gonna say our people and the freedom of our community.
The hummus.
I have a lot of different motivators. I don't. I'm all for using primal desires as motivation.
100.
They're
That's
the
a
best
real-
motivators.
That's a real life.
Sometimes I look forward to a day simply based on what I'm going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes like a lot of times I'll treat myself to a rest day. I'll go get a massage and just relax. Like I look forward to those little moments.
Yeah.
So I let the little things motivate me.
Best massage in LA. Where
rub and tug.
where is it?
Oh, yeah, the rub and tug. Yeah, the old rub and tug. No, I couldn't tell you the best. I go to the cheap spots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
On Skid Row.
Skid Row, down at Skid Row. Yeah,
The
yeah.
best massage.
Yeah.
No, I need
Not
a-
even trained.
I-
massage
It comes
therapists.
with a bubonic plague.
Yeah.
I need a massage once a month for my
For sure. I go like once a week.
Oh, really? Nice.
But, like,
Trying
how
to-
do-
trying
how
to
do-
be like you?
It's very underrated. So it's an underrated, form of health.
For sure, dude.
Healthcare.
You need
Yeah.
it. I give our producer Sam a massage. Look at him. He's already
There we
stretching.
go.
his
That's why he's so happy.
Yeah.
hit him right here
Right.
where it hurts.
Like day to day, like the food is motivating you to be better. Like go do more comedy, write more stuff, like be active. Because that's part of the.
Yeah, if there's gonna be a day where I know I'm gonna drink coffee and get high, I'm like juiced about that.
I feel you.
I only let myself do that like once a month.
Nice.
When I drink coffee and I get high, I write like a whole new hour. I write like a novel.
Nice.
I write like I'm
Bro's
fucking.
on his like.
we do not condone coffee.
Limitless.
We literally, that's what me and Atif
Yeah.
did before coming
It's
here.
it's crazy. I the only reason I don't
drink
do it more
coffee
is because
to-
like I know it
clarify.
doesn't like I need to have the right headspace to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. I like that because you're really you're being present and you're not chasing things that are so far out of reality or future things. You're like What's today? How do I feel today?
Right.
What's
Also
gonna get me out
prepared.
of bed?
Prepared for everything that comes up. You know, like improv in the whole sense of it. You know, like just in life, I feel like comedians are just
I like to
gotta be
listen. I like
present.
to know what's going on. I like to know how people are feeling. I'm very much an introvert. I spend most of my life away from people, but I like to have my ear pressed to the world. I like to know what's going on. I give a fuck about what people think. I want people to come together. I want people to be happy. I just like to have a safe distance from them because otherwise they're just toxic.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Anything else you want to shout out or you have anything
Yeah,
coming
check them
out?
out. Check out my tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
SammyKO.com, tour dates, coming to your city.
I'm gonna put all the dates on the screen right now.
Yeah, drop all the dates.
You know, as comedians do. That's
no,
how you know if you're working. You got 3 dates or you got 46. He's like,
Well, you know, I'll leave instead of with a motivational piece. I'll leave with a problem that I have. I'm trying to do my podcasting myself, and I just haven't found the motivation to like decide exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
Now, of course, when you podcast, you don't need to think like what is your guys' first of all, what's your guys' podcast called? I don't even
Habibi
Habibi
House.
House. Okay. And what would you describe as like the theme? What's your elevator pitch?
You're the Arab American podcast.
You are the Arab American podcast.
And our goal is
fantastic.
to provide a platform
Yeah.
for Arab entertainers.
And so all of your guests have been
In the
Have been
beginning,
Arab
they
so
will be
far,
Arab.
and
but
then
of course you'll branch out.
we'll branch out and bring people
Yeah.
into our community.
But the
and
MO
talk about
established.
Arab issues.
Yeah,
and
we
shit.
talk
We're
about-
gonna serve the niche within podcasting for the Arab community.
Right. So it's clear what you get. Habibi House, Arabs in it. It's like done. It's like it's wrapped. It's packaged.
Three
It's ready
guys,
to go.
three guys in LA having a good time.
We're showing our
But
experience
it's also
in Hollywood.
more than just the podcast. It's like, you know,
For the
it's like a
community.
hype house type situation. Like we try to create more content together.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's
this is the
coming. For
anchor,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But what are you
I love
thinking?
it. So yeah. I mean that you know me enough to know that I have many angles. I got math. I got the Arab identity.
Many angles.
I love puns. You know, I love talking about politics. I'm obsessed with
Are
health.
they acute
We
or
are.
obtuse?
They're a little bit obtuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're just right. And I have
Set
a
him
lot.
up just like alley oop, Shaq to Kobe, Kobe to Shaq. Yeah,
Just tap it in. Okay, yeah, you have so many angles.
I have a lot of these angles that I love. I would say, but like I'm probably most interested in like health and science and
Really?
like I even like astrology. I fuck with astrology. I have a lot of interests, and I don't want to limit myself to one. I wouldn't want to make like a math podcast. I wouldn't want unless I did 10 podcasts, but that seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to decide what my angle is, and you're like, well, we'll just the Sammy Obeid podcast.
Yeah.
I go, okay, cool. Like that's a worst case scenario. Like, cause you can put your name. You can be the Joe Rogan Experience. You know, you can be the Tim Dillon Show. Whatever. You
but
know,
before Joe Rogan could only do it because
he's Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
exactly.
But also,
know
you
what
can
I'm
make
saying?
every episode, you know, depending on who you bring on.
For sure.
Right?
Oh, and I mean, I want to get into all those things. I want to give each of them their time, but they're all unified under their me. But what I'm having the hard time is deciding what's the podcast name and does it have a specific kind of theme that ties all those themes together, or like something that I have people do when they come on the guest, or do I just say fuck it? It's just the Sammy Obeid podcast. I'm going to talk. You know, at that point, it just becomes about the name, and that's where I'm stuck. It's like these little things,
Different
like
angles?
this, that just get me stuck. But it's like I should just be doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
It is kind of like a self-limiting kind of belief right there.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I like the name Different Angles. Or like, you know, the Sammy
Sammy's
the Sammy
angles.
Obeid
Sammy's
experience.
angles.
Yeah.
Obeid's angles.
I think
Well, it's maybe like a wordplay with angels.
you should definitely,
Yeah,
Sammy's Angels.
Angles.
Like
Yeah.
Charlie's.
But
And then your
Sammy's
guests are your
angles.
angels.
I think across the
like Sammy
board,
Angles?
We need 5% on that.
across the
Guys,
board,
yeah,
you
no.
niche down first and then
Okay.
generalize. It's like the opposite. Instead of going general first and then finding your niche.
I mean,
Yeah.
but we're not Sammy Obeid though.
So you say choose one of those.
kind of like
niches.
what we did,
Yeah.
where we're niching, and then we expand to different people.
For sure.
Like so, for season 1, for example, is us, like
Right.
Arab, and then we branch out
And
to
that's
other
why-
minorities, and then kind of go in like a reverse triangle kind
And
of.
that's why I think about this so much, is because like I could just start general, but it's like, yes, that's how you see people do it. They start with a niche. They're like, oh, we're gonna do a podcast about bedtime stories, and then they end up having the president on. You know what I mean? So it's like, where do you
But
know?
the
it's
thing
like,
is, you're
yeah.
a
math
established
is-
name.
it's
Like
also
people,
something
you have fans, so people
Right.
would tune
And I could even
in.
just have people in talk comedy shop or talk entertainment
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
But like the niche that I found, I had a podcast. It was health related, and my co-host was a doctor, and she had to leave to do another podcast. And so since then, I just been kind of like, fuck, like I don't know where to restart.
I mean, you were mentioning earlier about the educational, putting the math on in a more like entertaining way.
I don't think anybody can do that like you. I've never seen anybody do that.
That would be an interesting combo, Sammy.
But like, you know,
That's definitely want to do that content wise. I just don't know if that needs to be the podcast, you know?
I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam.
What is it? Oh, no, I have not.
Kind of went.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah. I mean, that said, I don't know how much I can lean into post because I do want, like, there's an element of simplicity that I need to start it, but I'm very intrigued. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Love it.
We had an idea for something. I don't know if you'd be down to do
Okay.
it. Feel free to say
We have
no.
about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Have another 15.
Yeah.
So we wanted to like, because you're good at puns and improv.
Yeah.
Right. And then as a rapper, I also enjoy puns and improv.
Yep.
But maybe a thing where we throw you a few words and see if you can riff off of them.
Sure.
And then I riff off of.
He's gonna
whatever
rap 'em.
Yeah, I'll rap off.
Okay.
Off of those same words.
Let's do it.
You like
Yeah.
it? All right. So we have a few words here. I said you want to give them some of
Let's start with haram.
Haram is it's not just a word, it's a state of mind, right? Some days you just wake up haram.
Coffee and getting high. Let's go.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
Falafel.
Falafel.
And if you can do a pun with it, even if you like.
Some days you just wake up and you.
Yeah.
Feel awful.
Falafel. Well, I was eating falafel in front of my girlfriend, and she was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Chickpeas."
Nice.
Like, we should just end there. Just please end there. It's a wrap.
Baba Ganoush.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's good.
Baba Ganoush.
Baba Ganoush. Whose father?
Yeah, right?
Whose father, right?
Baba's
Whose father was Ganoush?
Birnoj.
Yeah.
dad
Let's talk
is
about
Moni.
Baba Ganoush. What about Amu Ganoush? Yeah.
Because you know, Ranouj means like moaning.
When are you supposed to start rapping? That's what I want to know.
No, he's going to use these words
He's
after.
gonna fit them all into.
Oh, it's just whole food now. Okay, man.
Harry Mack style.
Harry back.
Shawarma.
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 Shawarma. Okay, I mean, because puns are super easy for me.
Okay.
You know, because so it's like my mind. I'll take you inside of my mind because I'm like, okay, what's an easy pun here? And so it's like, so I was eating, you know, our Heritage's favorite kind of meat sandwich, and my friend was like, "What is that? Pork?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "What is that? Beef?" I'm like, "Getting shawarma."
Nice.
Yeah. So I was trying to like, you know,
Shawarma.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
instantly what your mind.
yeah. My mind instantly
warmer.
like, because when you said falafel, I'm like, you could do a full awful
Yeah,
pun, but I was like,
yeah.
that's too easy.
Right.
So then my mind was, so your mind goes to the first one, and then like, what's the second one? So that shawarma, I went to the first one.
Okay.
Shawarma.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What would be the second? No.
If you,
second one,
if you see
yeah.
the police, shawarma, brother.
Yeah. You should warm up.
And that's why he's the comedian. No. Do we have any more?
I think that's.
Why did Eminem not get the shawarma plate?
Why?
He wanted the shawarma wrap.
Nice. Yeah.
It's I saw another one.
Always the rap. By the way.
It's always the wrap.
It's always the
What do you-
rap.
Always the wrap. Yeah, you can get the shawarma plate though. I get
The plate as long as it's chopped up, not like rice with chicken on top of it.
What do you
Right.
That's not shawarma.
Right.
What do you call the suspicious Arab rapper? Salim Shady.
Oh, okay. All right.
Drop a beat. Let him start
Whoa,
freestyling.
shit.
I'm
Here we
nervous.
go.
He killed it. I don't know if
Here
I
we
can
go.
follow up.
Nah, you can do it.
Salim Shady.
Drop a beat.
You got a beat.
I thought
Oh,
that's
me?
you. You're central.
Pull up one of the ones I made.
Yeah, play one of your beats. Come on. I'll play one of your beats.
I'll do it.
Where's your
They're,
beats?
they're too crazy.
We got 10 more minutes.
Play one of your beats, bro.
You want to do the low key one?
No.
Or is that too like?
Are you
Eminem?
not entertained? Put it on your mic. Oh. Yeah.
And you can keep spitting words and he'll use them.
Yeah, feel free to keep it coming. Listen.
It's the menu.
Yeah. I had a fight with my girl. Now falafel, I'm really trying to get a rap. Yeah, that falafel, I'm really trying to spit the shit. And I spit it with ease. My girl said, hey, stop. I said, chickpeas. I'm like, off the dome. This is way too influential. I could really go off in my zone. The instrumentals keep on coming, cause you know we about to get the shawarma. I got my girl in the back. Can we take a shower, ma? Together. Yeah, do it forever. I'm trying to do it like nobody else would do it. I'm better. I'm really trying to tell them that dipsicle man, it's like bitter. I put the dipsicle man, I'm a freaking rapping and I hit her.
Tahini.
Yeah, I got the sauce like tahini. These girls, got the Mexican chick, she likes tajini. Yeah, I'm like Aladdin, the genie. I'm Will Smith. If you see me like John Cena, you leave me. I said, and I got the knafe. I'm trying to tell them that I did it, and you know I will have it like no other way. I might just smack them like Chris. You get rocked if you stop in this hip hop. I got the juice like Mujia. I'm really trying to tell them who I am. Tell them who I am. Mujia, what do you rhyme with Mujia? I said like,
You feel me?
like the sergeant to be. Yeah, I'm like,
Coffee.
What you
You
got?
just forgot haram too.
Coffee.
Yeah, invented back in Yemen. Yeah, invented coffee beans. They really tell me Yemen. I said, what's the Arab country that starts with O?
Oman.
Oh man.
Man.
I'm spitting it off the dome like
LeBron.
changing my hands. I got the world in my hands. I'm starting to changing my plans. Are you not entertained? Are you not feeling pain? If you really want to do it, gotta spit it from the slain. They were slain and my people, they've been dying. So I really had to bring it from the past like a mine. Man, I'm somewhere on the island. Yeah, I'm Hawaiian. I'm really trying to get the money, get the sponsors. They lying upon the name. And my boy Assad, yeah, he's the lion. Had to really tell him how we do it. And you know I'm vibing.
And he's lying.
Yeah.
Always lying.
Let's go.
It's light work. That's light work.
Light work.
All right.
Yeah, right. I gotta find it right.
You know
It's
what?
it's like the Arabic version of orange. It doesn't
Sophia? Like, I got a religious
You feel
chick,
me?
Sophia.
All right, man.
Sophia.
That was good. That was good. Props.
Nice
Awesome.
beat, dude.
Fuck yeah.
It was a good beat. Who made that?
Him, I said.
Oh, you made that?
We've been working together. We've been working.
Nice.
Been getting him on the Logic and shit.
All right. Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Right back here, man.
Yeah.
Back here in Inglewood, baby.
Shout out to the Habibi house. This is episode 5. I think we can wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Sammy Obeid.
Cinco.
Sammy O.
Obeyed.
Obeid.
he
Don't you have
doesn't
a joke
obey,
Oh.
that
though.
it was like
Complete sentence. Sammy Obeid.
Sammy Obeid?
Yeah, I like it.
And then like, is it like are you like Irish or something?
Oh yeah, I have a joke where I say like I'll put an apostrophe after the O, so like Irish.
To get through airport security?
Yeah.
I gotta
Sammy
click you up
Obeid.
with Samir, bro. Like in terms of if you're thinking of having someone on the team. So.
Yeah.
Creative producer right there.
Well, yeah.
Legend.
I mean, I'm working out of the Bay Area now, but if I come down here and do some stuff, man, let's gig it.
Yeah, we should be going up to the Bay soon.
Hit me up.
Pull
Being
up
up with
the
Empire.
Hit me up.
Empire.
Hit me up.
All right, cool. Best of luck. Let's
Thanks
go crazy.
Thank you guys.
Can't wait for your
Next time, don't wear
stadium.
Where's Waldo? No.
Oh yeah, did you just
Is that bad for post?
you just auditioned for
We're gonna-
the
We're gonna AI
Blue's
the shirt
Clues
off.
remake?
Yeah. Well, give me one of your shirts next time.
Yeah, we will.
From Burj Hamoud.
Guy's a big roaster right here.
Nah, you're good. I'll get you a tracksuit.